Let's get nasty on a Wednesday. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh and Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. 202, your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. No Jamie Riversteady. He's traveling to Pittsburgh, where the Blues will take on the Penguins tomorrow night. Puck drop here on 101 ESPN at 5 o'clock. The pregame will start at 5 o'clock on 101 ESPN. The puck drop will be at 6 o'clock on the Blues radio network. We'll talk to Jamie a little bit tomorrow. But again, travel day for him and the Blues. So we'll miss him throughout the course of the show today. The Cardinals are playing right now against the Mets. Miles Mikolas with a decent outing today. He went five innings. Only gave up one run. They're down 2-0 right now in the bottom of the ninth. The Mets got a run in the top of the ninth, hit a home run. But Miles Mikolas, 5 innings of work, scattered 5 hits, allowed the 1 run. That was 3 Ks, 1 walk. A lot of people are concerned, or at least talking about the lack of run production for the Cardinals this spring training. It's funny. It's funny with spring training, right, guys? It doesn't matter until it does. And I'm not saying this to be critical of the Cardinals fan base or any fan base. I mean that from my standpoint. It doesn't matter until it does. It doesn't matter if the Cardinals don't win a bunch of games in spring training. I don't know. It kind of feels like it matters that they're, dead last in hits?
Yeah.
In spring training?
Yeah.
We're getting 1 hit right now.
Getting one hit right now?
Yeah. They've
been blown out pretty consistently here in the last week. So it's spring training. It doesn't matter, but it kind of feels like it matters.
It doesn't matter if you are the New York Yankees. It doesn't matter if you're the Dodgers. It probably doesn't matter if you're the Orioles. It doesn't matter if you're the Braves. I don't think it would even matter if you're the Brewers, right? You would probably we got a few teams that it probably doesn't matter. If you are a team that's been in the playoffs, if you are a team that has a superstar or 10, if you're the Dodgers, if you're a team that, has shown that you have the ability to do some things once the regular season starts, both, on the mound and in the field and at the plate, probably doesn't matter. But when you're a team that has been struggling, not so much last year, but the year before was a terrible season. Last year was better, but it wasn't great. You didn't really have, in my opinion, a chance to you might have had a slim chance to make the playoffs, but there were so many teams in that wild card that you'd had to jump over and jump past and run by. It probably wasn't happening.
Yeah.
This is, for me, and I joke and people get mad at me, you don't even like the Cardinals. No, I don't. I love the Cardinals. There you go.
Oh, you tricked us there.
I love them. I am a Cardinal lifer. Through and through. That's what I love. But I do like the Dodgers. Don't get it twisted. Let you know that. I like winners.
That's what ticks us all off, quite frankly.
Deal with it. It's life. Some things you can't control in life. And the sooner you learn that, when you learn that you can control the things that you can control, your life will be better. If it doesn't,
Very true.
If it doesn't apply, let it fly. That's what they say. So I'm on a roll. Let me keep going. So the Cardinals drive me crazy. Right? It's like a relationship that I was really good at one point. Then it kind of got sour. And then he's like, 2011. Oh, that's amazing. It got good. And then it's okay. And then it's gotten really bad as of late. And it's heartbreaking to watch. And so I was reading through the snake pits. Zoosh asked, does anyone else feel like the Cardinal spring training is a sample of what the season is going to look like? Yeah, I do. I really do. I think you're going to have a catcher that can't throw out a damn runner. That's going to drive me crazy. Because I saw that a lot last year. I think you're going to have pitchers that give up a lot of hits and home runs. I think you're going to have a team that doesn't get on base very much. And then you don't get on base, guess what? You don't score many runs, right? I think you're going to have some things that aren't going well. And it's a bit frustrating. And the fact that this team is dead last, and it's spring training, cool. Yeah, cool.
That's what I'm saying. It kind of feels like it matters right now. Because you've got a young team.
It matters.
You got a young team, you got young hitters, and you want to see some tangible evidence. Like Victor Scott right now. Victor Scott's having a really nice spring training. we're going to talk at some point about positional battles, and he and Michael Ciani are going back and forth. And I keep saying, "Oh, they're going to play Nuke because of the offense." And Marsh, you would remark, "I don't think he's going to start out there." And I agree. I was tongue in cheek when it comes to Newt starting in center field. I think Newt's going to be the backup center fielder. I think Victor Scott's probably going to win that center field job. Why? Because he's now 8 for 26 or something like that in spring training, whereas Michael Ciani is 1 for 25. Scott just got on base in the top of the ninth and stole a base. I think
brings something.
So you got that tangible evidence of something. For Victor Scott, a young hitter, spring training matters. Aaron Judge, nah. Mookie Betts, nah. Victor Scott trying to win a job, yeah, it matters. So there's some tangible evidence there that, hey, this is something to get exciting about. But when you look at the other young hitters, including Mason Wynn, who no issues here. I'm excited to watch him play in his second full big league season. But the concern is you got a new hitting coach. You kind of have this revamped philosophy hitting, and you're dead last in spring training in hits and runs. So while it's spring training, who cares? And there's plenty of examples of why it doesn't matter. It kind of feels like it matters right now to this offense.
Well, also, you mentioned Mason Wynn. There's a reason why there's a slogan or a name for players in their second full season in a sport, and they struggle. It's called the sophomore slump. And I think we saw a little bit of that with C.J. Stroud this year, where he looked incredible in his rookie season. We're like, how he's going to keep doing this. No, like sometimes people figure you out, or sometimes you, like you said, you make adjustments, but maybe it's not the right adjustments. I'm not too concerned, but I'm also like not so nonchalant about it when it comes to this spring training.
There's some frustration.
There's some frustration, but I'm also like, these games don't matter yet, like in terms of the regular season. So if and maybe when this trend continues, then I'll start being upset. And then I'll probably start not caring again. And then I'll look to, look for questions and apathy and the whole cycle of whatever. I think it's funny that, you brought up, some of the text line says that you're not a Cardinals fan. I just find that so funny. Like, people that gatekeep being a fan of something. Isn't that the whole point? Like, you have your own version of what a fan looks like.
Yeah.
That's your personal relationship with a team, a person, like whatever.
Yeah.
That's what being a fan is. Like, why do people gatekeep how others feel about a certain team? This is like a relationship. If somebody was great to you and then all of a sudden they're not, why should you keep going back to them if it's a toxic relationship? That makes no sense. You can be optimistic about it,
right? But well, some might then say, and this is where you two are in your Cardinal fandom right now. Some might say, "Hey, a little space is needed," and that I think describes some Cardinals fans. You've got the diehards, loyal, the blind optimist, fantastic. And if they're a blind optimist with the Cardinals, they're probably a blind optimist in most of their other areas in life. That's just kind of who they are. We all see things through our own prism. For you guys, I think you're looking at it and you're saying, this doesn't look right. And it hasn't looked right for a while. There's a little bit of the unknown that has kept the optimism. There's a little bit of optimism because of the unknown, I guess.
Which is great. I love that. I love that for you.
But when you have nothing to show for it in these spring training games, I think that optimism's starting to fade now.
I'm not very optimistic. I'll be honest. Like, I'm not. I am a realist. And the fact that people can't see that, I went to the University of Illinois, Anthony. We got 5 10-win seasons in football in ever, Bob.
Yeah.
I was on one of those teams. The other one just happened this past season. I was on a team that went 1-11. Do you think I would tell people to root for us, cheer for us? No, we stink, man. I understand why you're booing. I'm sorry. We're trying. We gave our best. It wasn't good enough.
Right.
Boo us. We stink. Oh, this man. This team stinks. I was on a team like that. Why would I not be honest when I see with my own 2 eyes? Mason Wynn, it is starting to concern me a little bit. The fact that he is struggling at the plate. Now I know he brings other things to the game. His arm, his defense, that plays.
And he's made some great plays.
And so
spring.
he's going to play because we saw Corbin Carroll struggle last year. Sophomore slump, had an outstanding rookie year, struggled to begin the year. So it's part of it. It is a bit of a concern because he doesn't have the track record of doing it. Players that have, if Juan Soto is struggling, nobody's going to bat an eye.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. He's batting 300, by the way, but nobody cares if he is. Because whatever, at some point it's going to correct itself because he's done it for a long time and he's getting paid a ton of money to do so. Mm-hmm. But when you have younger players that are struggling, Michael Ciani is struggling and he's not proving to me. Victor Scott has made plays both in the field and at the plate. He's showing that, I deserve this opportunity. Last year I thought Michael Ciani deserved it. Mm-hmm. Now I feel like Victor Scott does. It's about when you're a younger player, it is literally what have you done for me lately? What are you doing in this moment? You have to constantly prove yourself. Getting to the majors, getting to the NFL, getting to the NBA is hard enough. Staying there is much harder. So you have to continuously prove yourself. And when you're a young player, if you're not proving it, those opportunities start to distance themselves. You start to run out of opportunities. You start to run out of room to roam. They start to say, hey, why don't you sit over here with me for a little bit? So it's part of it. Unless you bring other things. Mason Wynn brings other things. His bat can go cold for a little bit. His defense is going to play. So what else do you bring to the table? And that's why I talk about Nolan Gorman. What else are you bringing? Because if you ain't bringing me home runs, your ass going to be sitting down watching. That's the real part of it. Mm-hmm. So you have to bring other intangibles that allow you to stay on the field and continue to play and get time.
That's Carey Davis. It's Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter. It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. You can always join our show. Air Comfort Service tax line is 314-399-9646. You can leave us a Scott Lee Heating Company mic drop via the Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Anything we're discussing today, whether you agree, you disagree, you want to chime in, give us a different viewpoint, fantastic. Love to have you. The YouTube channel, it's our Snake Pit. Shout out to the Snake Pit today. That you can join us via the 101 ESPN YouTube channel as well. Gentlemen, let's talk fears next. I got one big fear when it comes to this Cardinal season. I'm going to toss it at you guys. See if you guys also have said fear. Only one?
Just one?
Just one big one.
Oh, okay.
That's next on 101 ESPN.
Hey, it's Carey Davis, and if you're a contractor or own a business that needs recycling, my good friends over at Scrap Mart Metals can help you. They are tailor-made for your business to meet your schedule and your budget. At Scrap Mart, they understand that job site cleanup for contractors is often a mess. If you set up a business account with Scrap Mart to recycle that metal, it'll be one less thing you have to do during cleanup. You'd be amazed at how the scrap metals add up and how it can help your business's cash flow. But you don't have to be a business owner. If you have some things in your home, spring is coming up. Maybe you're having a garage sale and you got some things that don't get sold. Scrap Mart can help you with that as well. If you're a plumber, heating and cooling, excavator, or any type of contractor, Scrap Mart Metals Recycling can help make your job easier. If you own that heavy equipment, it breaks down time and time again. It's frustrating. You have to repair it over and over and over again. Eventually, the time will come to end your suffering. Scrap Mart will come and get it out of your way. They'll haul your equipment to one of their locations and get you a check the same day. Or if you want to haul it yourself, they have 3 convenient locations: Valley Park, Peevely, Jonesburg. If it's metal, they will buy it. Just simply go to scrapmartmetals.com. My guy Lucas can talk to you about setting up a business account to get you rolling. That's scrapmartmetals.com.
great opening to the show today. But let's get real. Let's look at the past 2 Aprils. They have completely sucked. So everybody get their head out of their collective tail. This is a continuation. This isn't spring training. It's a continuation. So maybe they should do something different. Maybe they should stop trying to make Mason Wynn a home run hitter. Let's go back to some line drives and then let the big boys do their thing. Ugh. Oh, let's all be shocked when they suck in April again. All right. Bye, guys.
Amen, Sister Lisa. Appreciate the mic drop. Thank you.
Do they have any big boys?
Yes.
Who?
Nolan Gorman.
Okay. So, what was your one topic that you were talking about?
They have Wilson Contreras. Arenado can hit the ball.
Are you talking
So
about
when
like
you say
hard
big
hit stuff?
boys-
Or are we talking about like
Big boys,
like
the guys that can
Mongos?
hit home runs.
I think big boys is like 30 plus home runs.
That's
They don't have
my
any of those
interpretation.
guys.
You know, we just got done talking about like how we see things through our own prism.
Yeah.
When Lisa says big boys, I think like Carey just said, like 30 plus.
Yeah.
Contreras is 20 plus.
Have you seen that guy at spring training? He's huge.
Nolan Gorman?
Okay, but you're talking. Okay, so you're looking
talking
at
about
it
size.
from the prism of
Yeah.
size. I'm thinking
big boys.
But she said it
didn't
off
mean
of
it
the
like-
home run, like the comment
Yeah,
about.
And what has Nolan
line
Gorman
drives.
done?
He's not a big boy in terms of like, he's 6'1", 225. He's not a big boy.
I'm 6'1", 215.
Well, you're
See?
saying no, they got one big boy
But you
who
work
can
harder,
hit 30
cocky.
home
Yeah,
runs.
so,
man.
you know.
Yep.
I don't even know they have one guy that can hit 30 home runs on this team.
I think Gorman could, but you got to deal with the 500 strikeouts.
Yeah.
You know? Either way.
Okay.
By the way, the Cardinals loaded the bases in the bottom of the ninth.
They win?
Less than 2 outs.
Walk-off
Loaded them up.
grand slam.
No, they lost 2-0.
Okay.
Yeah, lost 2-0. Victor Scott got on base, as we mentioned before. Then he stole second.
That's good.
Looking forward to watching that this season. So Scott singled to right. He steals second. And then Siani struck out swinging. Baker walked. Lucan Baker walked. Prieto walked. So that loaded the bases with only 1 out. Then they had a strikeout and a fly out to right. So that's it.
Oh, that's no fun.
Yeah, that's
All
it.
right. Getting better, though.
Gentlemen, let's talk fears. Okay? Anybody that's undergone
So
any
I
sort
have
of thing.
a fear. I'm claustrophobic, like so.
Sure.
Closed spaces scares the hell out of
Yeah,
me.
you're talking about
I
no
don't.
roller coasters.
Yeah, no roller coasters. Going up in the arch, whew, that elevator ride all the way to the top. No bueno, not for
not
me.
good.
You know, at the closed space, I get nervous with. That's one of my fears. How about you? What fear?
Dolls.
Dolls,
Clowns.
Yeah, he
talked
mentioned the
about that,
dolls.
yeah.
Yeah.
I like heights too, but it just depends. Like I don't mind roller coasters, but yeah, no, there's just dolls are probably the big one for me.
Not good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I'm referring to, guys, is the fear when it comes to the Cardinal season.
Oh.
Yeah, but I do appreciate you guys opening up and being vulnerable.
You got to be more
You know,
specific.
if you do any sort of therapy, they always talk about fears, right? Like, what are your fears? And you sit there and you're like, I fear nothing. And they're like, well, let's explore that. And they dive into some stuff, and they're like, oh, okay, so I fear a bunch of stuff. Here's my biggest fear with the Cardinals, that it becomes a lost season. I get where the organization is. They're saying, and rightfully so, the approach that we have had over the last X amount of years does not work. It does not work for us. And I don't think just replacing Mo with Bloom and going about business the same way is going to work. I don't think shopping for mid-tier free agents and adding them to a roster that you have not developed properly, especially from a young starting rotation, that doesn't work. And it is proven it does not work. So I like the fact that the Cardinals are moving in the direction of, we've got a clear path now. We're going to draft, develop, and keep the cycle going from a farm system standpoint. We can't contend with the big spenders. That doesn't mean we're not going to add any free agents, but we're going to save a lot of our monetary resources to bringing back guys like Mason Wynn if his career continues to excel. I like that. Mm-hmm. I also like the idea of going back to what this organization was at one point, the bread and butter being the pitching. So I like that they have a clear path. My fear is that this season, though, becomes just a lost season. For example, whether Miles Mikolas pitches well or not really doesn't matter, because to me, he's not part of the future movement, beyond this year. It doesn't matter if Steven Matz stays healthy. It might matter in terms of whether or not you contend for a wild card this year, but he's not going to be a part of the future either. Two guys with expiring contracts. Arenado, we'll see. Contreras, we'll see. But if guys like Victor Scott and Jordan Walker and Nolan Gorman and Ivan Herrera, if they just have mediocre years where it's some good, some bad, and there's not that development, I worry that this year will be for nothing. Mm-hmm. And we'll just look back at the end of it and say, I don't know what you accomplished there.
Yeah. I think I agree with that. I think that should be one of the biggest fears, that this no signing anyone in the offseason, we're going to go in a semi-youth movement. We're going to rely on the players that are already here to figure it out. Mm-hmm. If it goes poorly, if Mason Wynn has a down year, Jordan Walker never, reaches the level, even halfway to the level of what the expectations were of him. If, Victor Scott, for whatever reason, just is unable to, he gets thrown out stealing, or his defense falters. If all of those things go in a direction, Nolan Gorman continues to not hit the ball when he needs to, you're in a bad spot, because you had this mindset of a youth movement and you're going to play the young guys and they're not showing any progress. I think that's a problem.
Yep.
See, for me, I think I look at it in a different way. If they have a terrible year and, the things that you just mentioned happen, I'm still learning about the players.
Right.
So is it a lost season if they do bad? Yes, it might be from the standpoint of competitiveness, but at least I'm gathering information. I think this year is about gathering information, whether it's good information or if it's bad. I'm still getting something out of this year. Mm-hmm. For me, I think the pitching, that's the question that I have the most is what does the pitching look like from a youth standpoint? And with all these veteran guys in the starting rotation, I don't know if we're getting that question answered. Yeah. And I always talk about the timelines of the Cardinals are never matched, right? I feel like this would be a year to get answers for some of the young pitchers. Mm-hmm. I really don't know what's going to happen this year. And I've said this before. There's a part of me that I really don't care. I'm already
you're already apathetic.
I'm intrigued, but I also don't care. I really don't know how I feel about it. Mm-hmm. I really don't. I'm sure there's other people out there too who are I'll go to some games this year because it'll be nice outside and whatever. But at the end of the day, let's just see what happens and we'll just move on.
So MD 2020 in the Snake Pit says it's worse because there are veterans blocking young guys. So then you need another year to see what the young guys have. This team is the exact same as last year. That's what I'm talking about with the fear. Mm-hmm. That's what you're just describing, essentially in apathy. My biggest question every year heading into the offseason with the Cardinals up until this past offseason was, are you going to answer questions? Not to the fan base, not to the media. Are you going to answer the questions that you have on your roster? And rarely do they answer those questions. Rarely do they cross off and accomplish something in the offseason that isn't just bare bones. We need 3 pitchers, we got them. They rarely answer questions. So now, instead of the offseason, you are going into the regular season having to cross off questions. For example, what is your young core? Who are your young building blocks in the starting rotation? These are questions that have to be answered in 2025, or at least you've got a good jumping off point to say, yeah, we got a pretty good idea that Michael McGreevy's a pitcher that we're going to earmark for 2026 rotation, right? We have a pretty good idea. You don't have to be 100%. There doesn't have to be any guarantee, but you have to start eliminating questions. So that's my fear heading into the season, that we just sit here a year from now saying, well, we didn't answer anything.
Yeah.
We accomplished basically nothing.
And if they stink too, like, another fear of mine, and I'm still like, there's still that optimistic part of me. Like, let's say Jordan Walker has a down year. Well, I'm listening to BK and Ferrario today, and they're saying that, Ketel Marte didn't really have a huge year until his, like, 5th year in the league.
Right.
It's like, okay, well, are the Cardinals going to get rid of Jordan Walker? Like, they won't, but, like, what do they do with him? How does his development play out after this? Like, there's just so many questions about this team that we have zero answers to, and it's annoying. Like, the whole thing is annoying.
Yeah.
Like, I'm annoyed by this team. I am.
All right, that's Andrew Marsh. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. And speaking of Marshy, he's got what's trending next. If you're a homeowner, you know how challenging it can be to make sure that you have one of the best lawns on the street. Well, let me recommend my buddies Green Envy. Green Envy has been in business here in St. Louis for well over a decade. They have serviced our lawn in the Stalter household for well over 10 years. They do a great job. I don't have to worry about anything when it comes to finding the proper seeding to make sure that my lawn is healthy and green throughout the course of the year, at least in the times, of course, that it should be healthy and green. I don't have to worry about weeds overtaking my lawn, like what's going to happen for all of our lawns here in Missouri in the spring. Green Envy takes care of all that. When I'm on their program or when you're on the program, they'll come out, they'll spray the weeds, they'll make sure that the crabgrass is taken care of. If they have to come back out, because, look, they're battling Mother Nature too, because the warm temperatures and the rain hits and the weeds are all over the place, especially during the spring months, they'll come out at no extra charge because you're on the program and respray if they have to. They take care of my lawn, so I don't have to worry about it. I could just sit back and do the fun stuff like mow and trim. I enjoy all that, but I don't have to worry about, battling the weeds or making sure that it's seeded properly. I mow, I water, I trim, that's it. And my neighbors, same thing. Neighbor Dave, we talk about them all the time. He's got Green Envy. So he was watching all the progress and with my lawn. He's like, you know what? Give me that Green Envy too. They're fantastic. You're going to love them. 636-655-3689. 636-655-3689 or visit greenenvylawns.com.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. We've been talking about your St. Louis Cardinals. The Cardinals lost 2-0 today in spring training against the Mets. We'll talk more Cardinals throughout the remainder of the show, so keep sending in your mic drops. Text us to the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. We'll talk some more Cardinals baseball, like I said, throughout the show. The Blues are off today. They'll take on the Pittsburgh Penguins tomorrow, and you can listen to that game right here on 101 ESPN. Pregame starts at 5. Puck drop is at 6. Tonight, we have some college hoops for you. It's the Patriot League Championship, and tip-off is at 6. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
What are the hot topics in the sports world?
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
It's time to find out with
What's Trending? Brought to you by Elite Comfort Experts. Heating and cooling with no gimmicks, just guarantees. EliteComfortExperts.com.
Well, before Marsh gives us a little what's trending for today, don't forget that Selection Sunday, of course, is almost here. You can get signed up now to play in this year's Bracket Madness Pick'em Challenge at 101ESPN.com. It's completely free to enter, and this year's top scorer will take home a $250 Amazon gift card, as well as a 101 ESPN prize pack. You can see the contest rules and sign up to play now at 101ESPN.com. Our Bracket Madness Pick'em Challenge is refreshed by Bud Light. With Carey Davis, I'm Anthony Stalter. No Jamie Rivers today as he's traveling with the Blues, who take on the Pittsburgh Penguins in Pittsburgh tomorrow night. Here's Andrew Marsh with What's Trending.
All right, guys, I feel like the NBA has caught a lot of steam, not heat, but steam since the trade deadline, and I think, and this is just my opinion, the NBA is like a second half league where people don't care about the NBA until late in the year and then in the playoffs. Just my opinion.
I think that's fair.
The casual fan, I'd say. But right now, like what the Warriors are doing, what the Lakers are doing, you see what the Thunder are doing, Cleveland. Like, I can't believe Cleveland's actually good. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're a damn good team.
They're really good.
I saw a tweet the other day, and I wanted to get your opinion on this. This is about Steph Curry. He's had an incredible career. But this is from Biased Houston on X. Said, I've been saying this for a while. I think Steph Curry's individual ability to shoot a basketball is the best individual ability of any athlete across any sport ever. Steph Curry is better at shooting a basketball than any other athlete's ability in any sport, period. Do you agree with that statement?
Any current athlete, I'm assuming they're saying?
Any athlete.
I would disagree because I think Barry Bonds hitting a baseball was pretty damn good. Like, Steph is amazing. Barry Bonds, his ability to hit the ball, and I know people, get the juice, juice. He was hitting the ball pretty damn well when he was in Pittsburgh, and he was skinny.
I think
He's
before
3-time MVP before he went to San Francisco, right?
Yeah, I think he was a Hall of Famer. I think before
I agree.
The alleged use of PEDs.
They get mad at somebody allegedly because they did it better than everybody else. But no, I would say, yeah. I mean, Steph is lights out, man. He has changed the game. Like, I think that's what I think he has. There are a few players in NBA history that obviously Michael Jordan is one of them. Dr. J was one of them. Allen Iverson was one who kind of shifted people's mindsets and how they played the game. I think Steph is another. I think Steph is really just what he's able to do is something that everyone believes that they can, but they cannot.
This is a tough question.
It is interesting, right? Like, because it's not okay, what this player is to the sport overall. It's about one specific thing that they do well, and they do it elite, and they're better than everybody else, not only at their sport, but for that specific thing that they do, they're better than somebody else in a different sport at what they do.
I would put Michael Phelps on that list as well, though. Like, he was, I mean, he's probably, he's up there. Usain Bolt, like, you're able to run that much fast. Like, he's running, and these are Olympians, and he's looking at them as he's running. Like, that is, when you are that good at what you do, it is unbelievable. It really is.
Like Albert's ability to hit a baseball.
Correct.
Phenomenal.
What about Tony Gwynn? We had a texter text in saying Tony Gwynn.
Yeah, his
because
just
of
ability.
Maybe not the power, but just hitting the ball and doing it better than anybody else, more consistently, and getting on base.
So, like, Ryan in the Snake Pit says Tiger Woods. But I think we're trying to say what specific attribute.
Like, does Tiger outdrive people every single time? Like, that's kind of what we're talking about.
Right, and Bacon Rap Wiener says Gretzky. So maybe we say Gretzky's goal-scoring ability versus Steph's ability to shoot the three.
Say that for much longer. I had to say.
Well, we may have to say Ovi at one point. Like, does Ovi, his ability, his goal-scoring ability, is that greater than what Steph can do from, a three-point shooting perspective? I don't know. It's interesting.
We got a few other ones from the 314. Ricky Henderson stealing bases.
I like that. I don't think people heard the question properly. Because, some people just, we tend to hear what we want to hear. You're saying his ability to shoot the basketball.
Yes.
Not play basketball.
Right.
Not be a better basketball player. Just his one ability to shoot a basketball from pretty much anywhere on the court and make it in comparison to anyone else in the world and what they do best.
Yes.
There you go.
Which is way different than saying Steph's the best basketball player ever.
I think that's needed to be clear.
A specific skill set.
We have
JC Mo Rivera, that's a good one. So his ability to throw the cutter. Yeah. Nobody is throwing a better cutter than Mariano Rivera.
Yeah.
We have Joey Chestnut's ability to scarf down hot dogs is second to nobody.
Did they say that? Did they say hot dogs?
They said dogs.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did you think they said?
I was wondering. Wondering what route they went with that.
We have Troy Polamalu's instincts from the 636.
Yeah, Troy was at I think God used to talk to him.
Troy,
go here now.
they're running a sweep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
Troy,
there's a lot.
Watch the counter.
There's a lot of different ones that you could come up with, but
I like the Rodman rebounding one. Because if you watch that, what was the 30 for 30? Why do I always forget? Last Dance, when he was talking about getting rebounds and how he bounces off the rim and angles, and his eyes started lighting up. I was like, oh my God. This man is nuts, but he is amazing.
Right.
Like he's going to go here and boom, boom, boom. And you know the angle and the shot angle and the arc. You're like, oh, he's a mad scientist.
Yeah.
I thought he was just effort.
It's always fun.
I thought he just
had more effort than
everybody else.
Yeah.
No, he's breaking this down, angles, and he understands. Like, oh, okay, cool. Guy's crazy.
we have some great ones coming in from the 618. John Daly's ability to drink.
Yeah, that might be unquestioned. Sure.
We have, let's see, some of them just went away. Let's see if I can find them again.
There's one from the 386. I don't know if you see that one.
The 38. Everyone, they're texting in multiple ones, so they're going away. But we do have Dale's.
Chippendales?
No, Dale in Grubville says Tony's ability to smash his head in a pool.
I only did that once, though.
But you did it at an elite level that it didn't need to be done again. Like the best ever.
I feel like you have to have the showcase the ability to do it multiple times.
We have from the 314 Anthony Rendon's ability to steal money.
Ooh.
I do think there's one current athlete that's that's significantly better than
what
that.
sport?
Football.
I got basketball.
For you, that must be
Ben Simmons.
Ben
Simmons, yeah.
Who's
For
better?
me, Kirk
Who's
Cousins.
done it better? Oh, God. Kirk Cousins plays ball, man. These other guys don't even show up to their job.
Not at what the level he's being paid.
Come on.
You're telling me he's not stealing money?
No.
You're right, because he's stolen money from multiple franchises for six years now.
386 says BK's ability to curse Colton Parayko.
Yeah. Well,
He is really good at that.
his just ability to BKO somebody. Yeah. All right. Fun conversation. That's one of those that's like, hey, there's no real answer to it, but it gets you thinking. Can you share it?
No, I'm just laughing at our text line because it started off like with serious answers, and then now it's developed into non-serious, but like pretty good answers, because I think what the text line is saying is, yeah, these people are good at doing what you've alluded to them doing.
Right. Fair enough. All right, it's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Has this season been a productive one for the Blues? And we're going to piggyback off the conversation we had a couple of segments ago, talking about the potential fear of a lost season for the Cardinals. Well, I don't feel that way about the Blues, and I don't think a lot of Blues fans do. But we'll have it next on 101 ESPN. I went to Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum today. They got me on a Pathfinder. I love the Pathfinder. I love the Nissan Pathfinder. I love the fact that it's got the third row for somebody that has 3 kids in our family, 3 young kids, varying degrees of different car seats and boosters. The Pathfinder from Auto Center's Nissan, it's fantastic. You can purchase one right now at Auto Center's Nissan. They got great deals going on with their Nissan Now sales event. But, there's a lot of dealerships that will boast they have great deals. But at Auto Center's Nissan, all 2025 Nissan models come with a free lifetime warranty and 3 free oil changes. Plus, you get the peace of mind with their 30-day return promise. Within 30 days, if you're not completely satisfied with the vehicle, bring it back, and they'll refund your money. If you've got credit issues or you're stuck in a current loan, Auto Center's Nissan, anybody that walks through the door, they're confident that you can walk away, or drive away, I should say, with a brand new Nissan. So check them out in Herculaneum. Visit them at autocentersnissan.com. They've got over 800 new and used vehicles all in one location. You're going to be blown away with the service there. You're going to be blown away with the deals that they have. But more importantly, you're going to be able to find what you want at Auto Centers Nissan and autocentersnissan.com.
I think it's like a positive attitude. Whether something good or bad happens, it reminds me of the Chicago days when you have that swagger. You might be down a goal or two, but the team doesn't deviate from the plan. There's confidence. There's guys being up, cheering others on, and being positive, and it's showing.
That's Blues defenseman Nick Leddy. That was from this past weekend, and he was basically talking about the one theme throughout the course of the week, this week for us, which is that, the Blues are discussing how it feels different. The culture is different right now. The feeling, the vibe within the locker room is different. Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, I'm Anthony Stalter. Earlier this hour, we had the discussion. I brought it up, how one of my big fears for the Cardinals this year is that we won't find out anything. It's going to be a wasted year. It's going to be a lost season for the Cardinals where nothing's really accomplished. You don't have this full-on youth movement where you go through the growing pains and eventually you come out better the other side. There's a real possibility that it's like a 75-win season, 78-win season, and you don't really accomplish much. That's not the case with the Blues. I think regardless, and I'm not going to say successful, I'll just say productive. Regardless of if the Blues make the playoffs or not, this has been a productive year. We have learned about certain players. We have now a head coach in Jim Montgomery, who I think we can all agree is absolutely, positively the right guy to usher this retool and get the Blues back to where we all hope they're going to be, which is a annual playoff team. But I think this has been productive regardless of if they make the playoffs.
I agree. I think this is kind of what the timeline should look like. You add some pieces and then you add some veteran depth. You go out and get a few guys that can help you in areas of need. And this is the trajectory that you should be going on. And then when those older players, if Ryan Suter is no longer here, and he's no longer a part of the roster, and you start to add more of the younger players, those guys that are Robert Thomas, Jordan Kyrou, who are no longer really the young guys, they become the veteran leaders, and Colton Parayko becomes the veteran leaders, and Braden Shin, if he's still here, is part of that core. But then you got the younger guys, the middle guys, kind of like the Brobergs and Holloways that have years under their belt, and then you get the younger guys. So, and that's kind of how that usher older guys out, ushering younger guys in, and that's how you continue to transition into becoming a good team and a good organization, a good franchise, and put yourself in that winning window for multiple years. And I think, like you said, whether or not even and it's so frustrating that people, when we talk about the Blues versus the Cardinals, well, we don't say Blues versus the Cardinals. People pit Blues versus the Cardinals. Well, you all say this about the Cardinals, but you don't say this about the Blues.
They're two different organizations.
And they play two different sports. But they are, how they go about their business is different as well. You can see when Army is talking about the transparency that he gives you about where this team is, what the expectation is, and how they plan to go about their business, and you can actually see it. Like, you can see, we're going to sign offer sheets to these two young players from Edmonton. Oh, okay. Oh,
and they've panned out.
And they pan out, and it works. And you're like, okay, wow, that was a great deal. Yeah. Let's watch it and continue. And you're seeing a team that is, no, they weren't great. They've had 3 coaches in 2.5 years, and they've had to have some transition. But now you're starting to see the plan coming to fruition, and you can understand. Whereas you look at the Cardinals, you're like, I don't understand. And so, for me, if the Blues don't make the playoffs, it's still a successful season, and they are still trending in the right direction.
I think that's where some of the optimistic Cardinal fans come in, because, we look at this Blues team, and it took some time. They took some time for this team to start gelling and find their identity. And I wonder if that's what we're going to see with the Cardinals this year, where it's going to take some time, and it could be a point in the season where they're already out of the playoffs, but they start looking better towards the end of the year. That's the question that I ultimately have. We did get a text from a 636. It's definitely been productive from our core, but we need to continue the growth with Dvorsky and Snuggerud getting NHL time. Prolonging it, I think, hurts us because Benner's time's ticking with his prime, and I think Parayko's is too.
Yeah.
I think that's also like a valid question. Like, what does the timeline look like with some of these younger players? Yes, the core is growing, But are they ultimately going to be good enough at the right time?
Can we answer Bobby Bo really quick?
Yes.
You want to do it or you want me to do it?
You
want to scorch? Anthony is here.
I would like
Bobby
to answer
Bonilla's
this.
in our
No,
snake pit?
not that Bobby Bo. But Anthony, you go. You go ahead and I'll just add on to it.
Okay. Let's deal with Bobby. Let's deal with Bobby Bo here.
Bobby Bo, you're welcome.
Bacon Wrap. First of all, Bacon Wrap Wiener says so wins don't matter this year. Nope, that's not what we're saying. I think you know that, Bacon Wrap Wiener, but no. Then Bobby Bo. Let's just read through these. In the snake pit, he says Blues paying the bills, which is an obvious reference to us being the rights holder to the Blues. There's a little TV screen in our break room that has monthly anniversaries for all of us. Mm-hmm. And mine is at the end of the month. I'll be here 13 years.
Congrats.
But thank you. By the end of it. The Blues have been here on these airways for 6. Mm-hmm. So 7 without the Blues, 6 with the Blues.
That's awesome. They brought you on.
Not one time has my paycheck said St. Louis Blues.
Mine either.
It would be nice.
It wasn't there the previous 7. It hasn't been since the Blues took over. And they haven't taken over. We just air their games. We provide the content. So St. Louis Blues have never been on my paycheck. Your guys?
No.
No. Okay. I haven't made a dime from the Blues.
Not yet.
So that's one. If you had the Cardinals games, the hate wouldn't be as obvious. Would we have more tact and less sarcasm? Maybe.
I wouldn't.
But probably not.
I would.
Believe what you want. Yeah, still below 500. It's not like they are great, huh? Nobody has said they're great. You choose what you want to hear. That's it. You have the issue. You hear what you want to hear. If we're critical of the Blues, we don't hear from you.
Who's below 500?
I think he said the Blues, which
they aren't.
Isn't accurate. So okay. I don't know what he's talking about. Maybe I'm wrong on that.
I don't know. It was just a comment thrown out there. So
you hear what you want.
If you add in overtime losses, they are a below 500 team.
The bottom line is nobody has said they're great. You use the word great. We have not. I like the biased coverage. What do you want us to say?
So you were very nice.
Like
you were too
What are
nice.
you talking about, dude?
Damn it, Anthony.
You hear what you want to hear.
I wanted Ranthony.
If we're optimistic about the Cardinals, we never hear from you. Ever.
Here's the difference.
The moment we're sarcastic or we call it like it is, you pop your head in. What have your Cardinals done to deserve the praise?
That's exactly what I was about to say. The difference is one team is giving us tangible results and showing us that they are moving in a positive direction. Now, the Cardinals haven't started yet. They're playing spring training games. It does not look good at all. At all. We just mentioned they're one of the worst teams, if not the worst teams, when it comes to getting base hits.
No, they're the worst.
They're the worst team in Major League Baseball in spring training. Like, there's no tangible.
What positive you want?
There's nothing there yet. We have to wait and see. We have to wait and see.
2 years ago, it's the worst Cardinal season I have seen. I have witnessed.
You and me both.
You want me to put a positive spin on that? Why? And we've talked about the Blues have missed the playoffs. It hasn't been good enough. But if you step back and if you have a 200-foot view of things, you see that they actually are heading in the right direction. And by the way, selective hearing, I have said I like what the Cardinals are doing. Big picture, take a step back. I like what the path that the Cardinals have chosen because what has gone on has not worked. I said it earlier in this show. So hear what you want to hear, dude. We don't have anything for you. But again, my paycheck has never said St. Louis Blues.
And there's a reason why the question was, has this season been a productive one for the Blues? Not a successful one. There's a reason why we didn't use that word. We use productive.
Correct. All right.
Yeah, okay,
go ahead.
Got a break. Nah, you go ahead. I wanted to. Well, it was the Blues pay your bill. Come on, man. Like, seriously. Our job is to say what we see. it's not to be agreeable to everything you think. We are different people. I don't agree with every opinion you have, Anthony. I don't agree with every opinion you have, Marshy. And people that listen to us don't agree with every opinion that we have. We are honest. We are fair. We are truthful. Mm-hmm. And if that hurts your feelings, I'm sorry that you feel that way.
Tell you what, we're going to do something for Bobby Bo. And I'm dead serious on this. So, Bobby Bo, you still listening?
This is how Freedom Friday was created.
Correct.
Stuff like this.
Yes, out of spite. Bobby, if you're still listening, I'm dead serious on this. I will say whatever you want me to. Anything you want me to. You want me to rub the proverbial balls of the Cardinals for 4 hours? You got it, brother. You want me to verbally praise them over and over and over again? You got it. I will give you my Venmo. You pay me, I'll say whatever you want about your Cardinals.
Well,
whatever you want.
I don't think you can do that.
Why not?
Isn't that payola? Or is that just for music?
Carey still hasn't received his,
I think this might be Brandon.
Money.
I don't know. Bobby Bo, Brandon, Bobby Bo, if you're Brandon, I need my $1,000. I gave you a 15-minute
Sounds like you guys' feelings
segment.
hurt. I said I like biased views. No, you don't. You want us to talk positively about the Cardinals and crush the Blues. That's not biased. Pay me, Bobby. Pay me. Then it'll say Bobby Bo on my paycheck. And then I'll say what you want.
Oh, Anthony.
I can be bought. All right?
Really?
Is that a deal?
You think he's going to send the Venmo?
No.
Okay.
No.
Sorry, Bobby.
All right, let's continue here. What do you guys want to do next? Round the diamond? Let's do a round the diamond. Miles Mikolas pitched well today.
He did.
Hey, Bobby Bo, stay locked in.
Yes. Round the diamond next.
Hey, fellas, by now you've heard me speak about it over and over again, and you probably know that Blue Chew is an online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis in a chewable form and at a fraction of the cost. So what are you waiting for? Yes, you need to try it. Blue Chew is an online prescription service, so there are no visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, no waiting in line at the pharmacy, and it ships right to your door in a discreet package. Blue Chew's tablets are made in the U.S., and they prepare and ship direct, so it's cheaper than the pharmacy. And if you're ready for a great offer, how about free? Go to BlueChew.com and get your first month free. And when you use our promo code WXOS at checkout, you pay just $5 in shipping. That's BlueChew.com, promo code WXOS to receive your first month free. Then you can be ready to chew it and do it. Your partner wants you to do whatever it takes to make your sex life better. Blue Chew is your secret weapon in the bedroom or wherever you decide to get it on. Again, that promo code is WXOS at checkout, and you pay just $5 in shipping. BlueChew.com, promo code WXOS. Be ready to chew it and do it.
flying down to Florida for a spring training report on 101 ESPN. Our Redbird Spring Training Report is brought to you by Rawlings. Visit the all-new Rawlings experience at Westport Plaza today.
Let's go around the diamond with your St. Louis Cardinals.
3:07, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Miles Mikolas pitched well today, and he's our centerpiece for today's Around the Diamond feature. 5 innings out of Miles Mikolas, 1-run ball. As Katie Wu mentioned on Twitter, this is usually the point where starting pitchers work more towards the results, start to feel good. And again, Miles Mikolas pitched well today. So part of the around the diamond segment, what is your biggest question mark surrounding Miles Mikolas?
Which version of him shows up, right? We know he's going to eat up innings. We know that he's capable of being a really good pitcher. But at times it feels like, there are too many people on base, too many hits given up, just not deep enough in games. And so which version of Miles Mikolas do we get? I think that's my biggest question for him.
Marsh?
I think my biggest question is whether or not he'll actually be here. Not that he'll... Okay, let me rephrase this. My biggest question is not so much him. It's more so what the Cardinals' plan is for Miles Mikolas. If Miles Mikolas is not good in like the first month or 2 months, do they have the cojones to take him out of the rotation? That's my biggest question surrounding Miles Mikolas.
Yeah, that's a pretty fair question. I don't think they do.
I don't either.
And this is just, it comes down to them paying him and then wanting to somehow see this through when maybe they've got an opportunity to let another young pitcher have a chance to grow.
So what's the worst thing that could happen this year for the Cardinals surrounding Miles Mikolas? He's really good and he bounces back. He's really bad. They don't do anything about it. Or he's just average. Like he wins some games, looks pretty good, and then all of a sudden has a couple clunkers, and they don't do anything about it either way.
That's the worst case scenario. You're back on the roller coaster with him. Some good, some bad. Doesn't have a market at the deadline yet. Not good enough to allow you to surprise this year. And then you just keep him right where he's at, and you just let this thing ride. And a young pitcher doesn't have an opportunity.
Got a text from the 314. Here they go, hyping up the Mikolas and the Cardinals as if Mo writes their checks. What's funny is at the end of last segment, you said, all right, let's get to Miles Mikolas. He did great, blah, blah, blah. It took maybe 35 seconds before we started poo-pooing all over Miles Mikolas.
He is what he is, right? I mean, Okay, let's go back. Right? 2018, he's an all-star. 4th place finish in the National League Cy Young Award. 2019, you saw a slight regression. He was a reliable starter for the Cards, but wasn't what he was in 2018.
What year did you say?
2018. Okay. He earned an all-star appearance, and he was 4th place. He had a 4th place finish in the NL Cy Young voting. 2019, slight regression, reliable starter, but wasn't what he was in 2018. The 2020 season, he had surgery, missed all of it. Then in 2021, continued to be an okay member of the rotation. 23 earns himself the 2-year, $40 million extension. And then had the issues in 2024. Or 2023 was the up and down. Great, horrible in April, great in May, horrible in June, okay in July. Didn't know what you were getting. And then last year, he won great. He was 10-11 overall. Not that win-loss matters that much. But he had 5.35 earned run, 171 innings. He was a 5th starter last year. The problem is you have too many 5th starters. Right now in this rotation. Because if Fetty takes a big step back from what he was a year ago, he's a 4th or 5th starter. Palante may not make the starting rotation. Even if he does, is he more a 4? You have 4s and 5s and Sonny Gray. Right? Which is why it'd be nice if some of these young pitchers had the opportunity and had the runway to flex.
This rotation's floor is so low, and I think their ceiling is like maybe 2 feet tall.
Second floor.
No, this is like a ranch. Like, there's no second floor.
Oh, wow.
Like, I don't think there
attic?
is.
Can they get in the attic? Is there?
That's it.
The attic is full of old movies
And dolls.
I like it. Dolls, and the movie is these little tapes that are cursed by the boogeyman. That if you watch them, all of a sudden bad things start happening.
I really like your comparison, though, to a ranch, because a ranch is usually wider.
Yeah.
Right? Because it doesn't have the second floor. Doesn't it? Typically, not all of them, but some of them don't have basements. Like, it just goes straight out.
Yeah.
Which means average in this case, if we're doing the comparison. I think you're right.
But, like, even Sonny Gray, like, is Sonny Gray going to go, like, 17-2 with a sub, 2.5 ERA and be the Cy Young? I don't think so.
Even if he does, you still have 4 guys behind him that have to pitch. Right? So even if Sonny Gray is outstanding, he leads the Cardinals rotation. He's excellent. Let's even say he's what he was 2 years ago for the Twins. What's your rotation? What's the rest of the rotation look like?
To answer your question, Marsh, I think the worst thing that could happen is he's just not good, and he pitches every fifth day, regardless. Which, Anthony, Marsh, I don't know how you all feel about this, but I think that's a strong possibility. Like, he's not good.
Yeah.
Like, not good. Like, today was a good performance, but like not good like Eric Fetty yesterday. Like, what do you have? 8 hits allowed, 4 runs earned,
right?
3 home runs allowed. Like, that not good. In 4 1/3. Like, that what you get every 5th day. And every 5th. And why do we not? So, we saw it. With all due respect, we saw that. We saw a version of that. This man was trotted out there every 5th day, and his name was Adam Wainwright.
Oh, yeah.
He was. And I think Waino is a great human being. I think he was a great pitcher. But he was trotted out there every 5th day for an opportunity. And you can say, well, he's trying to get to the number of innings or the wins and all. Okay. But we saw it. Like, I watched it. And everybody knew, well, is he hurt? Is he not? He probably shouldn't be, I have no reason to believe that that's not possible again. So
with Mikolas,
yes,
you're talking about Mikolas staying in the rotation,
despite not performing to the level that even that player knows that they aren't reaching the level that they should be.
If Mikolas can give you 7 wins, go 7-4 with a 3.84 ERA and a 1.338 whip, would you deem that to be good enough? Because that's what Lance Lynn gave you last season.
7-4
good enough for what? Not being a playoff team? Yeah, because that's what the Cardinals were last year. Right? Like, what are we talking about? You know what I'd rather see? I'd rather see one of these young pitchers do that and get the experience and build off of that. Like, obviously, I would want a much better season.
Yeah.
But if Miles Mikolas is going to give you what Lance Lynn did a year ago, go back to what I said at the start of the show.
What's the point?
That's my fear.
Yeah.
You have accomplished nothing. You've given 0 chances or limited chances to a young pitcher to get his feet wet at the big league level.
We talked about this in the office. I don't know if we brought this up yet. My memory is not that great. I don't think we have. Is the best thing for these veteran pitchers, and Miles Mikolas included, to be terrible this season?
If the Cardinals don't do what CD suggests they could do, which is just hold on to him, then yeah. If Miles Mikolas has a horrible April and the first couple of starts in May aren't good either, will they DFA him? Like, how bad does it have to get for the Cardinals to say, you know what, we have got to get these young guys some opportunities? Or even Matthew Liberatore, who is stretched out right now.
I hate even saying that. Like, I feel gross saying that. I think Miles Mikolas has been a really good Cardinal. I know, like, maybe not from the perspective of, like, well, you know, lately he's not been a good pitcher, but, like, representing the birds on the bat, I think he's done a really great job at that. So I feel bad saying that, but, like, that's just the position that we're in right now.
Okay, but he rejected my boat name, and he rejected Jamie's nickname.
You're right. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't understand why you're saying he's a good guy. Like,
I never said he was a good guy.
In the Gauntlet?
I said he was a good Cardinal.
Did you beat him in the Gauntlet? Because then I would understand.
I've never played him. Never played him in the Gauntlet. Well, I guess we'll never know.
All I know is...
I never said good guy, Anthony.
Yeah, that's true.
I said good Cardinal.
You're right. Stand corrected. All right. Do we overhype free agency in the NFL? I think we do. I'll tell you now. Why next on 101 ESPN.
Hey, it's Carey Davis, and if you are in need of new windows, look no further. Window Nation has you covered. Right now, you can get 2 windows free with every 2 you buy and get 0 interest and 0 payments for 2 full years. Pay nothing until 2027. All you need to do is dial 866-90-NATION or go online at windownation.com. All they do is windows. They're experts. Last year alone, they installed over 200,000 windows, which is 40 times more than the average window company, 96% of those requiring no follow-up service. That Window Nation window will come with a lifetime warranty. Window Nation was recently ranked highest on Forbes' list of best window installation companies, so you can trust Window Nation for high-quality, affordable windows, but you need to hurry this offer in soon. Again, that's 2 free windows with every 2 you buy, 0 interest and 0 payments for 2 full years. Pay nothing until 2027. Dial 866-90-NATION or visit them online at windownation.com.
Kevin Moret here for Mentality. Life's a relentless competition, and you might be losing without even knowing it. With testosterone levels plummeting 25% in just 2 decades, you're likely operating at a fraction of your potential. Your kids sense it when you're too exhausted for playtime. Your wife notices when that spark fades. Here's the harsh truth. Without addressing low T, nothing works. Diets fail, workouts fall flat, but there's hope. Mentality's FDA-approved treatment restores testosterone by an average of 30%. Don't let low T rob you of life's precious moments. Start at mentalityhealth.com/radio.
Carey, I think we have a propensity to overhype free agency in the NFL. And I'm going to try not to contradict myself as I talk here. I'll probably fail. But the Bears are a perfect example of this, I feel. The Chicago Bears, I think, have had a really nice start to the offseason. Mm-hmm. There's really no questioning whether or not they have improved. They have. They've addressed the offensive line. If you're going to build inside out. So they've addressed the offensive line. They've addressed the defensive line. They hired Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson is one thing. Free agency is another. You have an opportunity to improve your team in 3 ways. Draft, free agency, trades. And the draft isn't until the end of next month. And the Bears have already done a great job in the trade market and free agency. But ultimately, we're talking about guys that they have brought in that are hired mercenaries. They weren't drafted by the organization. We don't know how they'll fit. And even though they've improved, they've spent market value or perhaps over market value in some cases to improve their roster. And we've seen time and time again, especially with the Eagles this past year, that while adding a free agent like Saquon Barkley is phenomenal, it's the cherry on top when you already have that young roster that you drafted and developed along the way. Mm-hmm. So I think we sit here and it's like, hey, this is what we have an opportunity to talk about because it's the only thing going on right now in the NFL and it's exciting and, oh, look at these moves. But I think we have a tendency to overhype the value of free agency. It's usually not the team that wins, quote unquote, free agency that wins in the regular season. I
think we overhype the splash free agency signings. Right, the things that I don't think. If you look at the Bears, what they've done, they don't have a splash signing. They got better on the interior offensive line. They got 2 guards and a center, and they went and got 2 D linemen. That one, which you know very well, in Grady Jarrett.
Yep.
I think they've gotten much better because we know they had the talent on the outside. They drafted Caleb Williams, Rome Odunze last year. They have DJ Moore. I don't know if they're going to bring back Keenan Allen. He's a little bit longer in the tooth, but they have the skill positions offensively set up. Mm-hmm. Defensively, they've been pretty good too. That's just known historically. They've been a good defense.
Yeah.
But I think you don't have to win the free agency signing period by signing. Now, I think what the Eagles did, you hit the nail on the head. Last year, they, in my opinion, did make a splash because they signed what was the best running back available.
Right.
And that's the one thing. They had all of the pieces in place.
Exactly. The roster was already built.
Their roster was already built. They went and signed the one thing and it worked out. You say the same thing for the Baltimore Ravens. They went and signed the one thing that they needed. It didn't work out for them in terms of winning a championship, but they had a really good season. So for me, the signing just depends on who you are and what you need most. Mm-hmm. This Bears team could possibly win the division. I don't know what Detroit is going to look like losing both coordinators. We saw Philly lose both of their coordinators a couple of years ago, and they stunk. Like they just were unable to do anything productive offensively because both of their coordinators left after they went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Detroit could be in the same boat. They lost both of their coordinators to head coaching jobs, and so now they could take a step back. The Minnesota Vikings got a new quarterback. I don't know what they're going to look like, right? I think the Green Bay Packers are going to be okay, but I don't know. So you're looking at the team in Chicago that is, in my opinion, took a step forward in the right direction, putting themselves in position to possibly make a run at that division title.
Green Bay, though, I think is a perfect example. I'm glad you brought them up. They're a perfect example of under, he's now passed on, but Ted Thompson. Mm-hmm. Under Ted Thompson, he was constantly criticized by the fan base for not going heavy in free agency.
Right.
It wasn't what he believed in. And the Packers were constantly in the playoffs, and they had a chance to win either an NFC Conference championship or the Super Bowl. And the large part was because of Aaron Rodgers, but that's an organization that is often criticized for having the long view in mind, and yet they rarely. The last time they were bad was Don the Magic Man there, Don Mikowski or whatever the hell his name is. They've had the quarterbacks, which is great, but they also are what? They were why take Aaron Rodgers when you have Brett Favre? Why take Jordan Love when you have Aaron Rodgers? This is an organization that always has a long view and rarely participates in free agency, and they're usually good. They're usually a contender. I'm not saying free agency doesn't work. What I'm saying is if you're signing multiple free agents, you are really, applying a lot of your cap space to guys that you're hoping their best game isn't behind them. You're hoping that they mesh well with all the other free agencies or free agent signings or trades that you've made.
So one thing that I've seen, and I'll bring up the Vikings since they're my team, they have been signing a bunch of guys, right? And I think they've done a good job in free agency. And a lot of people around, Vikings, Twitter or X, whatever, are saying, okay, now this team can go out and draft best available instead of just going out and drafting for a position and maybe it doesn't work out.
Right.
So I wonder what your opinion is on, and it's all in cycles, right? There's different cycles of free agency and where your team is at. I wonder, at least for them, and I'm sure there's other teams like them as well, where this cycle of free agents, you get a team that looks good, that can be there for a few years, but then you start drafting the best available. That way you don't have to worry about those guys in the next cycle of free agents. And that's really when you start your build towards being a Super Bowl contender.
I love what you said there. Free agency should supplement your roster. It should supplement the drafts. If you addressed your needs in free agency, you go into the draft just flat out looking for talent that fits your roster, talent that fits your schemes, right? As opposed to, we have got to get a tight end. We have got to get a wide receiver. When it becomes a need instead of a want, I think that's when teams typically get into trouble with it when it comes to the NFL draft.
And then the next cycle, maybe you don't have to go out and spend on those free agents once again because you already have those pieces in place. But you have to start it at a certain point and be committed to doing it.
Right. I agree. All right, that's Andrew Marsh. That's Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. Let's get back into the Cardinals. Let's talk about the Cardinals' position battles. We'll start off with center field. Is it Victor Scott's spot to lose? And what does that mean for Michael Ciani? I almost said Michael Scott if you're an Office fan. Michael Ciani. That's next on 101 ESPN. Underdog Fantasy is now available in our state. It's available in Missouri. So from fast breaks to buzzer beaters to block parties, there's nothing as exciting as basketball. It's not just NBA. Underdog Fantasy also has college basketball too. So you can play all tournament long on Underdog Fantasy or check them out during the conference tournaments that are going on right now. Just choose higher or lower on certain player stats. That's it. So if you've got a favorite team, maybe you're a Mizzou fan and you're looking at the upcoming matchup that they have in the SEC tournament, you say, okay, I like higher on this player's stat, but I like lower on this player's stat. Maybe you look, and you're an NHL fan too, you look at the Blues and Penguins tomorrow night, and you know that somebody like Zach Bolduc has been firing all cylinders. Great. You could choose higher or lower on certain stats like goals and points and assists. It's all available at Underdog Fantasy. Millions of fans have won over billions on Underdog. You could be next. Just join by downloading the app and signing up with my promo code Anthony. So download the Underdog Fantasy app, use my promo code Anthony, and you'll get a free selection as part of your first cash entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama, Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona and Massachusetts, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Void in Colorado. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. In New York, call the 24/7 HOPE line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Cardinals today in spring training lose to the New York Mets by a final score of 2-0. The Mets with 6 hits, the Cardinals only with 2. They also committed 2 errors as well. We're going to dive into the Cardinals position battles next. Center field between Victor Scott and Michael Ciani, so stay tuned for that. Tomorrow, the Blues will take on the Pittsburgh Penguins, and you can listen to that game right here on 101 ESPN. Pregame starts at 5. Puck drop is at 6. Tonight, we'll have some college hoops for you as the Patriot League Championship is right here on 101 ESPN. Tip-off is at 6. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
So the starting center fielder spot, is it Victor Scott's to lose? Or will Michael Ciani carve out a role for himself? I don't know if Michael Ciani's on the roster, guys, if Victor Scott becomes the starting center fielder. Because I think at that point, the Cardinals will need more bench options, and Ciani and Scott are too similar, and they'll decide to use Newt in center field, if and when they need a backup center fielder. So that's how I interpret things. I think given the spring training that Scott has had, I think he wins the spot. What about you guys?
I agree, and I agree with everything you said. I think they are so similar in what they're capable of doing. Defense, speed, hitting was probably the one thing that was going to separate the two of them going into this spring. And right now, Victor Scott is the one that's hitting the ball better. Ciani is struggling at the plate a little bit. So that, to me, if all things are equal, the one other thing that the one guy does better is what you're going to lean on. And I agree with you in terms of him not being on the roster because you probably need a right-handed bat. You know, they were talking about the left-handed bat, whether that's Gorman or Burleson coming off the bench. If neither one of those are DHing or playing that day, that's your left-handed bat. And then maybe you finally give Luke and Baker an opportunity to be the bat that comes off the bench.
Oh, I think he
will.
From the
right side.
Yes.
You know, year after year, you've kind of sent him down, and he's led the minors in home runs, and he's done all of those things. And maybe you don't think he's an everyday starter at this level, but he can provide something. Bringing a big bat off of the bench.
He's got 3 home runs in spring training thus far. So I think Luke and Baker will have a spot on the bench. But again, if it goes back to the outfield situation, you don't have a true backup shortstop. It could be you could use Jose Fermin there, but
he's so sick of Jose Fermin.
Yeah,
I don't think he's sick of Jose Fermin. He just wants to know.
Well, give somebody else a chance.
So that's always the question, right? Like, do you want to give that spot to a young player? Because then they're not developing. Because your better roster might be, hey, let's have one of these young guys up. But Mason Wynn is going to play the majority of the games this year. I don't think he gets as much rest as he did a year ago. And if that's the case, then they're going to keep another infielder to play in that bench role. And it's going to be a true bench player.
I think Victor Scott should be the center fielder. I think he has more upside. Like, when you ask yourself, who do you envision being the starting center fielder for the next 8 to 10 years?
I hope it's Scott. Like,
Michael Ciani never even crossed my mind in that conversation. Like, it's always been Victor Scott. And if Victor Scott is showing you that he's the better ball player right now, then you go with him. Like, is Michael Ciani going to factor into your long-term plans? Or did he have a good year last year because he was a good fielder?
Yeah.
And you had no other options to play center field.
Right.
Is that why he carved himself out a role? But I don't see him being a part of this franchise for the next 10 years.
Right.
I see that out of Victor Scott. So let him play. Let him be the center fielder. To me, that was always the plan. Was it not?
It was, and then he even started last year because you had Dylan Carlson running into Jordan Walker.
Right.
So Victor Scott got his opportunity, did not hit, which is where Siani emerged, and then Siani wound up playing a really good center field defensively.
He didn't even start in center field. He started in left field.
Right, and then eventually made his way over to center field. He played such a great defensive center field that they overlooked the bat, and then the bat started to improve, and then he got hurt. Opened up the door right back for Scott. You're right. Victor Scott, if this is a restructure with a partial youth movement, Victor Scott should be your center fielder. And give him some runway.
Yes.
I don't give a damn if he hits 216 in April. Let him work through it at the big league level.
Because when he does get on base, exciting things can happen.
Yes.
Not that they can't happen with Michael Siani, but I think there's more upside with Victor Scott.
I agree.
There's no power there.
Yeah, I agree as well. I mean, I think now he's so far he's earned it, and so I would be shocked unless something drastically changes here over the next couple of weeks before the regular season begins. I would be shocked if Victor Scott is not your opening day center fielder.
I would be too. I mean, the spring training numbers completely favor Scott.
How important is it for the Cardinals to get this right with their center fielder? Because we've been having the same conversation, I feel like, over the last who knows how many years about, well, who's going to be the center fielder for the Cardinals? It's been a rotating cast. Like, center field is a very important position. Jim Edmonds was your center fielder for, the early 2000s. Like, you knew what you were going to get every single day from Jim Edmonds in center field. A great glove and a great bat. Like, how important is that for the Cardinals going into this restructure for their franchise?
Well, it's the middle of your defense. We talk about it all the time. Catcher, second base, shortstop, center field. It's the middle of your defense. It should be, not that the corners don't matter, obviously, but you should have a strong middle of the presence defense. If you go to Fangraphs lists the projected WAR for every player that could start in center field this year in Major League Baseball. The Cardinals rank dead last in terms of WAR. Victor Scott has a 0.5 WAR as a projection. That's dead last. I think and again, these are just projections. I think they're too low on Scott, but if you take a step back, he's still got to prove himself. But I think Victor Scott, given the speed, there's a lot of different elements here. Given the speed, the defense, the fact that he's going to be between guys like Donovan, who plays a fine left field, or Newt. It'll probably be between Newt and Walker. Newt's strong defensively. Walker is learning. So to cover that range in center field, I think is very important. And I'd rather see Scott out there than Newt in center. Because they're trying to have their best defensive or their best offensive lineup.
Well, and ultimately for me, because like you said, Siani and Scott profile to be basically the same player defensively.
Right.
Maybe Siani's a little bit more reliable. We saw a few times last season where Scott, wasn't the same as Michael Siani, but I think he'll be fine. Like, for me, it's the bat, and I think Victor Scott has a better bat.
Yep. I think so, too. All right. It's Fastlane on 101 at ESPN. We will get into the starting rotation, too, when it comes to the Cardinals' positional battles. But why don't we play Prove Me Wrong next? If you've got a Prove Me Wrong statement, you can send it into the Air Comfort Service text line, which is 314-399-9646. So this is a statement that you want to see if Carey and I can prove wrong. Marsh is our judge. We'll play Prove Me Wrong next on 101 ESPN.
Prove me wrong, kids. Prove me wrong.
All right. Time for Prove Me Wrong. Law firm of Davis and Stalter has just stepped into the courthouse, the courtroom of the Honorable Judge Andrew Marsh. Judge, how are you today?
I'm doing great. I actually watched one of the new episodes of Daredevil last night.
Okay.
And there was a courtroom case happening in said episode. I won't spoil anything, but I feel very prepared right now.
Good. So from a judge standpoint, you feel?
I feel great.
Ready to hear arguments and...
Yeah. I like a good court case scene.
Oh, yeah.
They're
outstanding.
very fascinating.
When the lawyers lay a nice trap for somebody.
Yeah.
It's always good. Yeah, it's good stuff. All right, what do we got first? What's our first case?
Let's start off with the 573. Prove me wrong. The New York Football Giants should trade up to the number 1 pick and select Cam Ward.
I think the Tennessee Titans are just dumb enough to pass on him as it is. You may wind up with Cam Ward, and you don't have to move up for him. Sure, you can ensure that you move up and land your guy, but now you're still paying a premium price to even move up just a couple of spots. So for me, the Titans continue to talk about either trading out or even selecting Travis Hunter, which is kind of a red flag that they're not necessarily settled on Cam Ward or Shadur Sanders. I think the Giants should sit and pick, especially with a team that's got so many needs. They can keep those draft picks and continue to rebuild, which is what they're doing right now. Thank you, Judge.
Good job, Anthony.
Thank you, Carey.
From the 618, Carey will like this one. Prove me wrong. Mizzou's defense won't let them get out of the first weekend during the tournament.
No, the first weekend is going to be cakewalk, right? You got 2. You're going to be what, a 5 seed playing the 12, right? You're right there. Says you should win that game. And I said it all along that Mizzou, to me, is a team that makes it to the second weekend at bare minimum, right? They're a team that defense travels. Defense is the one thing you hang your hat on. You play hard. Don't let them get into your interior. You kind of struggle there. But on the perimeter, that defense for Mizzou is outstanding.
Yeah,
they can play against anything. They're in what is considered this season the toughest conference in the country, and that is the SEC. And they've been holding their own. So, Mizzou makes it out of the first weekend into the second weekend. Sweet 16 it is for them.
Sweet 16, here we come.
Yeah. It doesn't sound like he believes it.
Well, you said Mizzou's defense is great.
I didn't say great, did I?
Yeah, no, Judge. He said that
it travels.
It travels, and the first 2 opponents are unlikely to be of SEC quality. And the SEC is the top conference in the nation. So Mizzou is battle tested, and they've got a great coach in Dennis Gates.
100% what I said.
They'll fix some of the weaknesses.
Yep.
All right. You convinced me.
Appreciate you.
Hey, man. You got me.
We're a team.
Yeah. From the 618, prove me wrong. The Cardinals youth movement will get hot, and they'll be in the wild card race at the end of the year.
I mean, they're even going to have a youth movement, right? This team is known to not play the youths, right? Nobody wants to give the young guys a chance around here, and that's the one thing that they need is a chance. How do you get better? You play. Mm-hmm. You got to get the opportunity, and I don't think that those young guys that we have been clamoring for years are going to get the opportunity. We're already hearing rumors of Andre Palante not even making the big league roster. He might be sent down to AAA. Michael McGreevy, who the hell is he? They don't know. We don't either. We haven't seen enough of him. Victor Scott, yeah, sure. But maybe not. Who the hell knows? They talked about putting Lars Nootbaar in center field, Donnie in left, and letting Gorman play second base. You already see that Wilson Contreras is over there at first base. You probably could have used the young guy there, Alec Burleson. So, there's no youth movement, no young guys getting an opportunity. So if they don't play, no way that they make a run and make a push.
I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know if you necessarily answered the question. You kind of danced around it. But I like dancing. From the Water Boy, prove me wrong. This upcoming season will be Mike Tomlin's first under 500 season with no solid quarterback option in sight.
Are you kidding me?
When has he had a
have you heard
great
of Duck
quarterback
Hodges?
situation besides
Have you
Big
heard of
Ben?
Mason
Big Ben?
Rudolph? This man wins damn games. And that defense, as I just said about Mizzou's defense, the freaking Pittsburgh Steelers defense travels. They go wherever you line it up, they'll be there ready to get after your quarterback, and in the secondary, they're going to go make plays. So you don't worry about who's under the center. That's one position. As far as last time I checked, it's 11 men on offense, 11 men on defense, and 11 guys out there for special teams. Why the hell would we worry about just one guy? And don't worry about that either, because hell, you're going to have a Super Bowl winning quarterback under center here shortly. Which one? I don't know. But one of them, yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Mike Tomlin losing, going under 500. When has it ever happened? You tell me one time it's happened in life.
You can't, because it hasn't.
There you go. So why would it start now?
Yes.
Good call. From the 636, prove me wrong. Torrey Holt keeps getting screwed over for the Hall of Fame because the NFL doesn't want anyone mentioning St. Louis. Adam Schefter's tweet about Johnny Hecker is further proof. Here's a little inside for you two. You're probably wondering, what is said tweet? I'm about to read it for you. Sources. Four-time All-Pro punter Johnny Hecker reached agreement today on a fully guaranteed one-year deal with the Tennessee Titans. Hecker will be reunited with Titans special teams coordinator John Fossil, with whom he started his NFL career with in Los Angeles.
Incorrect. But you know what? Incompetence can often look like strategic efforts by the NFL. And here's the thing. The NFL is incompetent, all right? I don't think it's a thing where they don't like St. Louis. I don't think that they even think about us much at all.
Which is worse?
I don't know.
Oh,
but I don't think that Torrey Holt, this has anything to do with Torrey Holt. You've got other players that obviously made it from St. Louis into the Hall of Fame. Torrey's biggest issue has been the same issue as a lot of the wide receivers. There's a backlog of wide receivers. There's only a certain number that can get in every year.
Yeah.
And it winds up being an issue of, numbers that at that position to get into the Hall of Fame. But there's been other St. Louis players that have gotten in. So the NFL may not like us, but I don't think it's got anything to do with Torrey Holt. Since they left. Yeah.
Who would that be?
That was while they were here.
That was while they were here?
You talking about Marshall or Kurt?
Marshall, Kurt?
I think they were still here when they got inducted.
Nah.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
I don't think so.
Orlando? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Anthony made
That wasn't too long ago.
You made some decent points.
I think any of them.
But, and I don't want to speak for St. Louis. We don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But I think the NFL hates St. Louis. It's just a fact.
Damn.
We'll do one more. From the 314.
I didn't feel good about it when I submitted it. I said case closed, no more further witnesses.
I had an extra question.
The defense rest. I didn't feel good about it.
I knew you didn't.
You were right, Judge. You were right.
From the 314, prove me wrong. This one's interesting. Buffets should be a thing of the past now.
Oh, no. Are you kidding me? Who doesn't appreciate a good buffet? Let's just say, for example, Judge, that you've got a family of 5, and 3 are young kids, and 1 wants chicken tenders, and the other wants cheese pizza, and the other one maybe wants tacos. Now, where are you going to get all 3 satisfied? Maybe mom and dad want something else. Maybe dad wants some, some Chinese food. Maybe mom wants something else, something sweet. Where are you going to go to get all of that accomplished? The buffet, of course. They have everything. Everything that you could desire. Buffets are fantastic. Yeah. And often reasonably priced, especially for big families.
Yeah. Buffets. And it's all you can eat.
And it's all you can eat. Who doesn't like all you can eat?
Clearly this guy.
Kurt was inducted in 2017.
Yes.
So
I did it.
Yes. Isaac Bruce, 2020.
There you go.
That's what I thought.
You said it. We weren't listening.
The 636.
I said it was recent.
Brings up a good point, though. None have been inducted since the lawsuit.
But 2 have been inducted since they went to L.A., which should further make the point
A lawsuit, Anthony.
that Torrey Holt is not being punished because he played for the St. Louis Rams. He's being punished because he played wide receiver.
I'm not going to give you the ding. You bring up great points, but I don't know, was this like double jeopardy thing, or I don't know how that works.
I filed a motion.
Yeah, I don't know what that means, Anthony.
I don't either.
You were
Honestly.
watching the show. I thought you got all your answers.
Yeah, I was entertained. I wasn't.
What's it called?
Getting any knowledge from it.
Double jeopardy.
No,
You can't
not
try
jeopardy.
the same case twice.
Right. Like, well, you can't be accused of
You can't
murder
be
if you were
already acquitted.
Yeah.
Correct.
But when it comes to, like you've got a client, they
Appeal.
appeal. I appealed it.
He
Thank you.
appealed.
Thank you, Carey.
Appeal?
I appeal.
He's appealing.
I'm appealing that.
Yeah.
It's great.
He doesn't give a damn.
Remember when the Braves protested the game against the Cardinals when Pete Kozma dropped that quote-unquote infield fly?
Uh-huh.
How'd that work out for the Braves?
Not well.
No, it didn't.
You won't even hear my appeal?
Oh, I heard everything you said. You make great points.
What's my ruling then?
I think he just gave it to
You're a
you.
good guy.
He gave it to you.
All right, fine.
Good guy, good points.
Moving on then. We've got a new Gauntlet contestant today. So we'll see who gets chosen, either me, CD, or Marsh next on 101 ESPN.
Hey, it's Carey Davis, and if you have been in an accident, had hail damage that you've been putting off, or any exterior auto repair needs, call my friend Jeff at All Things Appearance. Him and his team will help you get set up with a rental car if needed, or they can pick you up and deliver your car to make the process as easy as it can be. Jeff will assist you through the insurance process and help you with your deductible when possible. With low overhead, Jeff helps you get the best prices in St. Louis on your repairs while providing you top-notch customer service. So don't put off getting your repairs done. Get it done now. Call or text Jeff to get a free estimate. That number is 636-248-5051. They can also be reached online at All Things Appearance. Again, Jeff will answer that call directly. You will get him. He is the owner. Not many companies give you an opportunity to speak to the owner and get you an answer as soon as possible. No one offers more services or does more for their customers than the team at All Things Appearance. Call or text Jeff again at any time, 636-248-5051. He's always available. He will always respond, or you can visit their website at allthingsappearance.com.
warriors. 4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you survive the gauntlet?
Brought to you by Blue Note Roofing. Roofing, siding, and gutters. Visit BlueNoteRoofingSTL.com for a free inspection.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN, where it is 4:04. Your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. With Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, I'm Anthony Stalter, and we welcome in Corey. What's up, Corey? Corey. Corey, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry.
Talk to us, Corey.
What's going on?
All right, good man. We thought we lost you, and we didn't know who the next of kin was to call. So
he's fine.
That music that scares me. Made me almost want to hang up.
No, you're good. You're good. You're ready to rock. Thanks for listening. Thanks for playing. Round 1 for you today. No Jamie Rivers. Would you like to take on Marsh, Carey, or me?
Who wants to go?
Oh,
who hasn't gone
probably
lately?
You. I've been getting my butt kicked this month.
I just went.
We all have been the last 3 to go.
Yeah, there you go.
So,
well, my wife says she likes PD, so let's go with him.
All right.
Carey Davis. It's going to head to the Cone of Silence.
Good
right
luck,
now.
Corey.
Good luck.
All right, so
I think he was going to say it back.
He did.
kinda-
He didn't mean it, though. I could tell.
Yeah.
He's like, I gotta
good
do
luck.
it, but I don't want
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
He's locked in.
All right, CD, you're going to go into the Cone of Silence right now. Corey, you're going to tell Andrew Marsh to spin that wheel.
Marshy, spin that wheel.
What are we hoping for, Corey?
I'm not telling you guys. You know better than that.
Well,
it doesn't matter.
True.
The wheel knows
The
anyways.
wheel knows. So after this gets done spinning and we know what category you have, Corey, I do want you to tell us, because I'm always interested in the wheel just flat out knowing. All right, so the wheel has spun. Oh, you're not even going to show me, Marsh?
No,
wow.
I want to know what he has to say.
What is the category you want, and what is the category you do not want?
I want hockey. That's why I didn't pick Marshy. Jamie's not there. And football or baseball I'm good with.
Okay. Marsh?
It's football.
Oh, there you go. It's football.
Marshy, that was impressive yesterday, man.
Well, thank you.
He knows his hockey, that's for sure.
Some say I wrote the questions myself. Which I didn't. I didn't. It's just some were saying it.
Some were saying it, yeah. And in fact, the some were me, Jamie, and Carey.
Well, there's some texters that may have alluded to it.
Man. All right, Corey, you're going to get 4 football-related questions today. Each question is worth 2 points unless you ask for the options. If you ask for the options, those are worth 1 point. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Question 1. This past NFL season, how many teams finished with a league worst 3-14 record? This past NFL season, how many teams finished with a league worst 3-14 record?
I think it was the Titans, Patriots. Could you repeat their question one more time?
This
how many teams?
Yeah, this past NFL season, how many teams finished with a league worst 3-14 record?
Let's go with 4. Final answer.
Question number 2. This past NFL season, who won the AP Defensive Player of the Year award?
This season. I get the options.
Options are Myles Garrett, TJ Watt, or Patrick Surtain.
Let's go with Myles Garrett. No, I probably got that one wrong. Final answer.
All right, Corey. Question 3. This past NFL season, Kevin O'Connell won AP Coach of the Year. Which coach finished second in the voting?
Andy Reid, final answer.
And
what was that, Coach of the Year?
Yes.
Yeah, Andy Reid, final answer.
question number 4. This past NFL season, which team led the league in sacks? This is times the defense sacked. This is the times the defense sacked a quarterback, not how many times their quarterback was sacked.
Let me get the options.
Options are the Minnesota Vikings, the Denver Broncos or the Dallas Cowboys?
Oh, goodness. That's a good question. Let's go with Minnesota Vikings. Final answer.
All right, let's bring back CD from the Cone of Silence. Corey, how you feeling?
How's Mo say it? Not great.
Not great. Well, we'll see how you do here. CD's making his way back in from the Cone of Silence.
Not great.
Damn. Didn't see him.
You're all right. How was the Cone of Silence?
Oh, they were in there talking, you know.
So it wasn't very silent?
Couldn't collect my thoughts.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's okay.
Well, Carey, maybe we can provide you with some good news.
I do tell.
Your category today is football.
All right. It didn't work so well for me last time. But okay.
Pack a lunch.
Question 1. This past NFL season, how many teams finished with a league worst 3-14 record?
Tennessee, the Giants, Vegas end up with 4 wins. I feel like it's 3. What? Are you saying? Okay. 3-14 or below, or just 3-14?
This past NFL season, how many teams finished with a league worst 3-14 record?
I have no clue. Options don't help. Let's say 3. 3. Final answer.
Question number 2. This past NFL season, who won the AP Defensive Player of the Year award?
Oh, this is shameful. It wasn't Myles Garrett again, was it? Oh. I know I'm going to know it once I hear it. Don't play defense, Anthony. Played offense.
Right.
Who the hell was it? Oh, give me the options.
Options are Myles Garrett,
Jeez Louise,
TJ Watt,
no,
or Patrick Surtain.
God, good grief, Charlie Brown. Myles Garrett, final answer.
Question 3. This past NFL season, Kevin O'Connell won the AP Coach of the Year award. Which coach finished second in the voting?
These are difficult damn questions. All right, well, it wasn't Anthony's favorite Italian coach, Nick Sirianni, because he didn't even think he should be coaching the team by the time they got to the playoffs.
I was wrong.
Wasn't Andy Reid, wasn't John Harbaugh. You got to think of a playoff team. Wasn't. Damn, this is going to be a minute. Wasn't McVay. Who had a really good year that shocked some people, Marshy? Options.
Dan Campbell, Nick Sirianni, Andy Reid.
Maybe it was Nick Sirianni. I should have watched the award show, huh? Clearly. I don't think it was Andy Reid because he doesn't get any love. Let's go Dan Campbell, final answer.
Question number 4. This past NFL season, which team led the league in sacks? We are looking for the defense that sacked a quarterback, not how many times their quarterback was sacked.
I have no clue. This is bad.
This is
really bad. Options.
Options are the Minnesota Vikings, the Denver Broncos, or the Dallas Cowboys.
I don't think it was the Cowboys. Denver Broncos or Vikings? Vikings were up there. Oh, I feel terrible about this. I didn't feel good about football today. For whatever reason. Vikings or Broncos? Nah, Vikings. Final answer.
All right, let's go over these. Carey Davis versus Corey in round 1 for Corey. Let me start with that last question. This past NFL season, which team led the league in sacks? This is times the defense sacked a quarterback, not how many times their quarterback was sacked. We just heard Carey take the options. He went with the Minnesota Vikings. Corey also took the options. He also went with the Minnesota Vikings. Correct answer is...
It is The Denver Broncos.
The Denver Broncos we were looking for. The Denver Broncos. This past NFL season, who won the AP Defensive Player of the Year award? With the options, CD went with Myles Garrett. With the options, Corey went with Myles Garrett. Correct answer is
Patrick Surtain.
Patrick Surtain was the correct answer to that one.
He ain't paid no attention.
Score check, Marsh.
Let me check. 0-0.
0-0. This past NFL season, Kevin O'Connell won the AP Coach of the Year award. Which coach finished second in voting? Carey, with the options, said Dan Campbell. Corey, without the options, said Andy Reid. And we know from Carey asking for the options, Andy Reid was, in fact, an option. Correct answer is...
It's Dan Campbell, man.
Dan Campbell is the correct answer. Carey's on the board. He's got a 1-point lead. Final question. This past NFL season, how many teams finished with a league worst 3-14 record? Carey, without the options, said 3. Corey, without the options, said 4.
Said 4.
Yep. If it's 4, Corey wins. If it's 3, CD wins. If it's 2 or 1, CD also wins. So Corey needs to hear 4 on this final answer. Corey just needs to hear, you have chosen wisely. Corey.
You have chosen poorly.
You lose.
Correct answer is...
Oh, it's 3.
3 teams. The Giants, the Browns, and the Titans all finished 3-14 to be the worst teams in the NFL.
Shameful.
Corey got you 3-0 today. Sorry, buddy.
That's all right. Thanks for having me, guys.
Good job, Corey.
Hey, thanks for listening. Thanks for
Corey.
playing.
Good job, CD.
Thanks, you too.
All right, we'll see you.
I didn't watch any awards. That's embarrassing.
Hey, you won. You won 3-0. You shut them out.
Nah.
Good defense today.
It's okay.
Good defense.
Tell you what, Corey did not feel good about those.
He didn't feel good?
He did not feel good about those.
No.
How he sounded is how he felt.
Yeah.
When
he kind of knew.
he was done. Yeah.
I mean, who knows who came in second place?
Right. Yeah. That's a tough one.
Also, who cares?
Dan Campbell and his family. No, they came up just short. Provide motivation for next year. They care, Marsh. They care big time.
We get a text from 314 LMAO. Carey has a 1-point lead. Sounds so much better than Carey leads 1-0.
Yeah. You like that? I try to add a little drama. All right, it's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Cardinals positional battles. Starting rotation. Are you good with the Cardinals trying Liberatore out once again as a starter? I think it depends. That's next on 101 ESPN. Nothing is more frustrating than when you decide to put your hard-earned money back into your house and then you get the wrong remodeler or you get the wrong designer that comes through. That's why you got to go with my friends at Mosby Building Arts. They are the right remodeling company. We've all been there. We're like, you know what? It's time. It's time to upgrade our bath or the kitchen, or maybe we want to redesign the basement. So you get in a bunch of different bids. You sit down with different designers, and the designers really don't have, much to offer this situation. Maybe they say, yeah, here's a catalog. Just pick through it and tell me what you want. Okay, great. Will help maybe. Or you get the designer that comes into your house and doesn't have your style, doesn't have your taste, doesn't know you, right? Doesn't really get to know you. They'll go to the neighbor's house and basically say the same thing. Mosby Building Arts, they've got the right remodelers, they got the right design team, they provide honest pricing. They work with you to make sure that you're designing your best kitchen or your best office or your best whatever. No project is too small for them. Mosby Building Arts, they do a great job. Trustworthy construction team. They know how to do a job, the job the right way. Friendly, dedicated people, and they offer a smooth, stress-free process from design to completion. So don't risk hiring the wrong team. Call Mosby Building Arts, the right remodeling company, at 314-909-1800 or visit callmosby.com to schedule your free consultation today, and you can see the difference for yourself. Fastline on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh and Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. No Jamie today. Jamie's on the road as the Blues get ready to take on the Penguins tomorrow. So today is a travel day for our guy Jamie Rivers. The Cardinals. Katie Wu wrote about certain positional battles that are going on right now in spring training. We had the conversation about the starting center fielder. Well, what about starting pitching? Sonny Gray, Eric Fetty, Miles Mikolas have 3 of the 5 rotation spots locked up. That leaves Steven Matz, Andre Palante, and Michael McGreevy and Matthew Liberatore to compete for the remaining jobs. Liberatore has established himself as a rotation candidate despite his success as a multi-inning reliever. I ultimately think that that's his role. And we've seen guys like Andrew Miller, former Cardinal, occupy that role for winning teams. A reliever that can come in and, pitch for 2 innings or so, even 3 innings. I think that's probably Liberatore's best spot. That's my opinion. Eventually, if they want to figure out if he's a starter again, when you have more open runway, I'm not opposed to them, rolling the dice with it, but I think Liberatore should probably be in the pen.
I actually like the comparison of Andrew Miller and Liberatore. I think they body type, both left-handed, both guys that can handle multiple innings and not necessarily a closer, but not, your starting pitcher got roughed up in the 3rd or 4th inning. No, he's a middle 6th, 7th inning.
That's a good distinction. We're not talking about a fireman role. You're right.
He's coming in and filling a role after your pitcher gave you 6 good innings. He can get you through the 7th. He can get you 6th and 7th if need be, and then whoever your setup man is, if it's JoJo or whichever direction you go. I think Matthew Liberatore fits in that mold, and maybe it's because I just see him as Andrew Miller. I see the comparison there. Maybe that's why my brain automatically feels like that's the role that he can succeed in most. I thought his first start a couple of years ago was really good, but from that point on, it's kind of been velocity been up and down. He throws harder for whatever reason when he's in Memphis than he does when he's here. I don't know why. I don't know what that is, but for me, I think that's one of the things that finding that role, whatever it is. I don't think he's a starting pitcher for this rotation in this iteration of what they are right now. I don't think it's needed. But I could see him being in there. Mm-hmm. Like, I could see, and I was reading Katie Woo's article the other day. She said along the lines, I don't want to misquote her, but having Matz and Liberatore both as starters or in the bullpen, they kind of are the same pitcher. You know, so which one of them probably going to be in the bullpen, one of them probably going to be in the starting rotation. Which one is which? I don't know that you put both of them in the starting rotation or you put both of them in the bullpen. Unless there's an injury there, you know, something along those lines. So for me, I like Liberatore in the bullpen, in that not you said not the fireman's role, but that 6th, 7th, you know, get you those innings, get you those outs, get to the setup man, and let's finish the game out.
I can't remember if it was last season or the year before, but Liberatore did a hell of a job. I think it was on a Sunday night against the Chicago Cubs in Wrigley, and they needed somebody. Their bullpen had been fried, and they needed somebody in a tight game to pitch several innings, and he did so. He pitched, I think, 3 innings that night and allowed the Cardinals to get into extras, and they eventually won the game. I think that's Liberatore's best spot. But now, do you go with Steven Matz and Andre Palante to fill out the rotation and have Michael McGreevy go down to AAA and just remain stretched out and you wait for his opportunity? Because if not, it might cost Andre Palante and his poor spring that spot. Where are you guys on Palante, who earned an opportunity last year to remain in the rotation? But again, he's been roughed up this spring.
I'm in the same spot I am with any young player. Like, you did a great job last year, but every athlete knows so let me take you behind the curtain, right? There's a feeling that you have when you are a starter and you know I got my job locked, I'm good, even if I perform poorly. And then there's a feeling that you have, I'm a starter, but damn it, I better perform well in training camp or spring training or wherever, our preseason, whatever you call it. And then there's a feeling where I got to make a damn team. And those are three that you could be that same person. You can be one person in all 3 of those phases. I was that in my life. I remember my first time where they were like, yeah, you can take your shoulder pads off. Wait, what, spring in training camp? I'm not playing the second half? Nah, you're not playing the second half. Say less. Get the hell up out of these things. And then I've been in situations where fourth quarter, you got to go cover this punt, right? So you know who you are and where you are. I don't think Andre Palante, even though he had a really good season last year, I don't know that he's above being sent down and sent to the minors to start the year off. I don't know that he's above that. I think if you're looking at this roster, you're trying to find, you're going to have Sonny Gray and Eric Fetty as 2 of the starters. Miles Mikolas is the 3rd one because of contract plays, right? So those are 3 of them. Yeah. Is Steven Matz in that rotation? Probably. So now you're at 4. Yeah. So if Andre Palante and Liberatore and McGreevy, which one has the higher ceiling or which one is performing the best? Because they don't have a long enough track record to say they earned that spot. And again, I think Andre Palante did a great job last year. Second half, he was probably your best pitcher, not named Sonny Gray, right? So, and Sonny had some bumps in the road last year as well. But there is something about when you get to that part of your career, you still have to earn it. And I don't know that he's earned that just yet.
Where you at, Marsh?
Yeah, I feel it's tough because, I want Andre Palante in the rotation. I don't want some of these veterans in there. So it's like, who do I – and so if I had to pick one young guy, for me, I'm picking Michael McGreevy just because I think he's the best guy out of, Palante and Liberatore. I think it's Michael McGreevy. Yeah. Personally, I don't want the veterans in there. I'd rather see all 3 of these guys get an opportunity. But that's just not the situation we're in right now. And if I have to have that same energy with, Michael Ciani and saying, okay, you were good last year, but, who do we want in our rotation, like who do we want in center field? Personally, I want Victor Scott. Who do I want in the rotation if I had to pick one guy? I think it's Michael McGreevy. I think he profiles to be a better pitcher in the long run. So I want to see him. But overall, the situation sucks. Like, I don't want to see these veteran pitchers anymore. I really don't.
So this goes hand in hand with what we just got this in the snake pit. Stalter script tonight. You take Mikolas over Palante? Hell no. Would we take Mikolas over Palante? No. No, we would not. What are the Cardinals going to do? The Cardinals are going to take Miles Mikolas.
The guy that's getting paid $17 million.
Exactly. We're not saying whether it's right or wrong or fair or unfair. That's not the discussion. The discussion is, what are the Cardinals going to do? We already know that Sonny Gray, Eric Fetty, and Miles Mikolas are locked into 3 of the 5, whether we like it or not. And we don't. But the Cardinals are rolling with those, at least those 3. The discussion becomes the final 2 spots. Palante was excellent last year. Mm-hmm. He's had a rough spring, and to CD's point, doesn't have the pedigree to potentially just say, you're good, you can overcome a bad spring. There's Liberatore, who's probably better suited for a multi-inning reliever role, but has looked very good this spring, and the Cardinals may entertain him as a starter again. And then you have Steven Matz, who pitches well until he gets hurt, and he's gotten hurt all 3 years. Or McGreevy, the young guy who will probably be, crunched out because of the roster numbers.
Michael McGreevy might be your best pitcher.
He might be. If I was running the team, McGreevy's in the starting rotation.
McGreevy would have been in the starting rotation after his first start last season.
That's correct.
And would have stayed there.
You don't have to yell at us, but yeah.
I'm not. I'm hoping they can hear me down in Jupiter.
They can't.
They listen to us.
No, they don't.
No, they do.
No, they don't.
Nah.
We say mean things. Ask Bobby Bowe up there. Sports Six Pack is next. 314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line. So if you've got a question for us, send it on in to the Air Comfort Service text line. Part 1, Marsh, of the Sports Six Pack is next. If you're like me and you're getting, look, I'm early 40s. I'll be 43 by the end of the month here. And at some point, you start to slow down. You're a guy. And if you got a lot more responsibilities, whether it's kids and multiple jobs or whatever it may be that you're doing, if you're run down all the time, it might be a symptom of low testosterone. That's where mentality comes in. If you're dealing with fatigue, low energy, if you're dealing with some continued weight gain, and you're just tired of it, at some point, you may say, it's fine. I'll get back into the gym at some point. But when you're older and you're a guy and you're lacking energy and you're lacking motivation, you get the mood swings and irritability and all that, you might need a little help. Again, that's where Mentality comes in. They've got 2 different locations here in St. Louis, one in South County and one in Chesterfield. If you feel like you've lost your edge, that energy, that focus, Mentality will tell you about the program. They'll just ask you a couple of simple questions. They'll draw your blood. If you're low on testosterone like I was, like Jamie was, maybe you're deficient in certain vitamins, they're there to help. The program works. It's covered by most insurances, and when you start to feel great, that's when you get back into the gym. That's when you've got that edge back and you feel fantastic. Mentality works. Trust me on this. LowTUSA.com is where you can visit them online. But again, head into one of the locations. Tell them Jamie and Anthony sent you in there. Or maybe you just see us down there. It's Mentality.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cardinals took on the New York Mets today in spring training. They lost by a final score of 2-0. We've talked some Cardinals baseball today. If you missed anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page and you'll find all of our shows there, and it's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. The Blues are off today. They'll take on the Pittsburgh Penguins tomorrow. You can listen to that game right here on 101 ESPN. Pregame starts at 5. Puck drop is at 6. We have our Sports Six-Pack coming up next, so get your questions into the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. Six-Pack coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
All right, time for the Sports Six-Pack here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. If you got a question for us, 314-399-9646 the Air Comfort Service text line. Yes, Carey?
I know Marsh tried to cancel the second segment of the six-pack.
Yeah.
Didn't he try to make it a 4-pack at one point?
Yes.
What?
Didn't he?
He's been trying to get rid of this entire
Just
segment.
making stuff up now.
Am I?
I remember something like that.
I thought so. Hey, like I made up the sound I heard yesterday too, huh?
Yeah.
Marshy?
No, I'm being serious this time.
He's
I did not
gaslighting
say
me
let's make
again.
this a 4-question segment. Now, do we only get to 4 questions the majority of the time? Yes.
Which is why we need an extra segment for this. I think he said, and I quote, why don't we just do 4 tall boys, is what he said.
I thought so.
I don't know.
That's what he likes.
I can't remember.
4 tall boys.
I don't even remember what I did yesterday. You know, like
You came here.
I did do
At
that.
some point.
You won the Gauntlet.
I did.
Was that yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes it's tough to remember
It
stuff.
is. You beat Chris. He's not a good guy.
Marsh's
Or no,
burner
he's a
says
great guy.
I'm
Great
ready
guy.
for a Sports 18 pack.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Chauncey is saying I did. I did say, I guess, 4 questions.
Yeah.
See?
Whatever.
Jerry, you're not crazy.
Not this time.
Not this time. Not on this. All right, Marsh, question 1, please.
Question number 5.
I'm kidding.
Question number 1.
All right, from the 314. This one might be a little tough to actually answer, but I think it's a good one. From the 314, why does the contract play? To please fans or to avoid criticism of management?
Well, because you're not going to waste money.
Right.
I mean, if you pay someone to do a service, they're going to do that dang on service, right? It's just, there are some areas in life where you probably pay somebody and you see that they're fast laning up, you're like, all right, that's enough. But you already paid them, so there's a level of frustration. Like, if you get a contractor,
I'm going to get my money out of you.
you're going to do the damn work. Now, I need you to do it right. But you're going to do this damn work.
Mm-hmm.
I paid this contractor to do the work, and if it's not done right, there's a level of frustration. The money gone, you just say, all right, I'm going to pay someone else to do this work. Maybe, or maybe you let them finish and hope it gets better. Huh? You know?
It usually gets worse,
It
but
probably does, but, it is what it is.
it's definitely not to appease the fans. It's quite opposite.
Right.
Because we as fans, I mean, look at the whole conversation we just had with Miles Mikolas. And we're getting we're getting statements in the snake pit like, how does this happen? You know, why would you choose Mikolas over a young pitcher? Because he's making $18 million. Now, he shouldn't be making $18 million, and yet he is. The Cardinals will try to get all they can out of that $18 million this year, whether we like it or not.
What if sports contracts were all incentives, like all incentivized, where you had to do a certain thing or you had to have a certain stat in order to make said money?
I'm going to tell you, that doesn't work either. Because I've had teammates who, had incentives to get a certain number of carries, right? It's a 4-minute drill. Supposed to stay in bounds and let the clock keep running. Hell no, I'm going to run out of bounds. Give me more touches. Oh, you got a sack clause in my contract, do you? Or incompletion clause. Guess what I'm going to do? Take this damn sack. I ain't throwing the ball away. Mm-hmm. That's an incomplete pass. Marsh, what the hell are you talking about? I don't give a damn if it's 2nd and 18 instead of 2nd and 10. That incompletion matters. They pay me to not throw the ball away.
I was praying that the Saints would go pick 6 against the Bucs when the Bucs are trying to get Mike Evans his incentive clause. I was praying that because the game was over, the Bucs could have taken a knee.
Yeah.
It was week 18. It was done. It was a wrap. It was a close game, but it was a wrap. All they had to do was take a knee, and they're trying to get Mike Evans his, what was it, yards?
5 yards.
Yeah, 5 yards. I was like, come on, Saints, they're going to him.
But what if it was something like you have your contract, right? You have the amount of money that you're supposed to make, but then you get deducted if you're terrible. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I think what you're saying is like 25 guys on a baseball roster,
yes.
and it's almost slotted where if you're the best player, you get the most money for that season.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know how they could ever make it work, but from an incentive standpoint, it would
cool.
make sense.
Like, hey, you're making $18 million, but if you have a 5 ERA, you're not making $18 million. You're making less than that.
So Palante last year would have made more than everybody in the rotation. Outside of maybe Sonny Gray, because of his performance, right? That's kind of what you're
like he would get, like, there would be a maximum and minimum amount of money that you could make within your contract.
Yeah.
If you exceed your expectations, then maybe you get to that maximum amount of money.
But who's setting the expectations? That's where the problem.
Well, that's when you would have like an arbitrator come in and do it, right? And everybody goes to arb.
It'd probably be fair. What you're describing is fair.
Yeah.
You perform well, you get paid better. If you don't perform well, you don't get paid well. Fair, right? Never happen. The players will never.
This will never happen.
Never agree
this
to
will
it. But
never. They can't even agree on having a salary cap in baseball.
Correct. Yep.
So.
Question number 2.
Okay, this next one comes from Martin's Dangly Bits. I have a simple question for the Sports Six Pack. May not be a simple answer. Who's the leader of the Cardinals? You know it's not Nolan Arenado.
I think the leader. I think the guy that's emerging as kind of a leader is Donovan. I think Brendan Donovan is kind of emerging as the guy that everybody
rallies around,
revolves around. He's the guy that has taken care of the youngsters when they've come up, and he's kind of congratulated them. I forget what he gives them, an engraved bottle of wine
Ace of Spades or something.
Yeah, something.
Yeah,
I think he is emerging as one. I don't think that, when you hear leader and it's not Arenado, that doesn't mean that he's not approachable. That doesn't mean that he and Mason Wynn don't work together, or he doesn't work together well with teammates. It's just there are different types of leaders. And there's certain guys that everybody kind of rallies around because they can lighten up the clubhouse when need be, or they can say the right things when need be. Doesn't mean that they're a bad teammate. It just, they lead in different ways.
I agree. I think Wilson Contreras will probably be on that list as well. And I think Sonny Gray is probably in that leadership role. Like if it was a football team and they had to send out 3 or 4 guys for the coin toss, I think it would be Wilson, Brendan Donovan, Sonny Gray.
Yeah, I agree.
And maybe one other person that I can't think of. Who else? If you had to have a 4th player, who would that 4th player be? You send out 4 guys for the coin toss. This is Major League Baseball, of course, so it's not a coin toss.
Right.
But if you had to.
Sonny Gray. What about Ryan Helsley?
Ryan Helsley. There you go. Yep.
All right. We got it.
Got our 4.
And we'll give you 4 more questions next in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six Pack is now.
Part 2 of our Sports Six Pack is right now. So if you've got some time to send in a question, we'd love to have you. Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646. Marsh, go.
Question number 3.
All right, this one comes from Pete. If you guys were taking over the Cards next year as the GM from Mo, what are the top 3 things you would do first?
I would try to improve the pitching.
How?
Internally first.
Okay.
So identify who is ready to assume a role in the rotation. What young guy, whether it's McGreevy, and maybe some of this will be answered this season, and let's hope it will be. But McGreevy, Quinn Matthews, what's the timeline for Tink Hentz? Graceffo. I'm identifying pitching first. It's the shortest way back to contention. If you can develop a young, cost-controlled starting pitching staff that can shove, that's the key. So that'd be my first 3 priorities right there. Pitching.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I like that approach, Anthony.
I'd get rid of guys, too, I don't want.
Well, some of those guys' contracts are up, so
I'd trade
you
them.
wouldn't have to. I don't think you have to trade them. You just let them walk.
No, you're fired. Okay.
Yeah, he'd be like, "Yeah, I was done anyways."
Yeah, no.
Thanks.
I fired you.
Hey, I quit. Okay. He didn't give me a new contract. I like that idea. I think it's hard to say because I need to know what this year looks like. Like, it's hard to just say, with a blanket statement, I do X, because I don't know what this looks like this season, right? I don't know if Nolan Gorman has one of those years and I'm like, oh, but I don't know if it's sustainable. Let me move on from him, right? Or, man, he had a hell of a year. I know he's my cleanup hitter. Like, for me, it's too hard to say. I know that goes against the game, but it's hard. It's too hard to say what my next year would look like. So I would, if we're not talking about anything that deals with this year, I would say developing, making sure that I'm developing players that can help me in the future. If I'm able to make a trade this year that can put me in a position to help next year. You've talked about Ryan Helsley being traded at the deadline. We've talked about Nolan Arenado being traded at the deadline. Getting players, prospects back that help my future. So for me, my first thing is knowing what the future looks like. Making a plan to develop those young players and make sure that when their time is when they're due to come up and be a part of the Major League club, they're ready to roll.
Ryan says, what do you do if Wynn has a huge sophomore slump?
You play him every day at shortstop.
Yeah. I don't give up. I'm not going to give up on a young talent like that.
Defense doesn't slump, generally.
No.
Hitting, you could stink. You could go through some struggles. But when you're as talented as he is defensively, and that sometimes can get you back into the offensive side of things.
Well, and, okay, here's another question to that Mason Wynn question. What if he reverts back to what we expected him to be in his rookie year at the plate?
So defense and a light hitter? I still stick with him.
Well, no, I know you do. I'm just saying, like, do you look at him any differently, or like, are you okay with that? Or because we were okay with it last season.
You know one thing, and I know this is tough. I realize it. But if I'm the GM, I'm looking to constantly upgrade. So in the case of Mason Wynn, I'm not looking to upgrade at shortstop, but maybe I'm looking to upgrade at leadoff. So to your question, if Mason Wynn has a huge sophomore slump offensively, reverts back to what we projected him to be, he's kind of a light hitting defensive player, then I'm looking to upgrade at leadoff. I'm not going to sell out though, which is what the Cardinals did when they signed Dexter Fowler. Like, we are selling out for a leadoff hitter. We need a center fielder and leadoff. Who's at the top of the market? Dexter Fowler. Give him a bunch of money that he didn't earn. That's where I think you get in trouble. But if the open
incentive contract, right?
The incentive contract that Marcia outlined perfectly last segment, it'd be different. But I'm looking to upgrade at all spots, either in the lineup or defensively. I'm also looking at a situation where, like, if Lars Nootbaar has an okay season, but he's hurt again, I'm trading him.
Yeah, so that's the problem in my eyes, because you can't just trade away bad goods. And
right.
I'm not calling, players goods or commodity or anything like that, but you can't trade away a player that is often injured because you don't. Why the hell would I want him?
Right.
Well, look at Tyler O'Neill. He could be Tyler O'Neill for you.
Mm-hmm.
Did they trade Tyler or did he walk?
They traded him.
Did they trade him?
Yeah.
What did they get back in return?
Not much.
Okay.
Ryan's asked about what about JJ though? He can play second base. JJ Weatherholt is ready for next year. I can play him at second base.
Or third.
Over who?
Or third. Over whoever I damn well want.
Because your captain is at second base.
My captain can play left field too.
Are you getting rid of Lars now? You just making moves.
That's what I said.
He's hurt. You said he's hurt. Who wants him?
No, I said if he has a decent year, but he shows some durability questions again. Like, not if he misses the entire season or misses 3 months from.
I think if I get a nice season out of Newt and he stays relatively healthy, but I still know he's got durability problems, I'm trading him. Mm-hmm. I'm selling him to the highest bidder.
Well, what the Cardinals could do is what you used to do in middle school with volleyball.
Cheat?
What?
Yeah, no. I changed my grades in middle school. It was a rough time.
So I'm on volleyball.
Sorry, Mom.
In volleyball, when you're in school and you're playing volleyball and PE, you would rotate positions, right? After the serve, and then you'd rotate,
right,
and that's what the Cardinals are going to do. They're just going to rotate. So then, like, Donovan will go to left, and eventually, maybe in 2 years, he'll be in center.
I hate that idea.
And then, Victor Scott will be in right.
I hate it.
Jordan Walker will be at first base.
That's what they do.
It's one of the reasons.
They go around.
Yeah, go around.
Yeah. So then Wilson can go to catcher.
Go back to catcher.
Yeah.
And then
I'm in for that.
Yeah.
I'm in for that.
But at some point, you got to play shortstop.
Yeah.
Second base. It's tough.
That's a terrible idea.
That's fine. It's my idea. You don't have to like it. I was asked a question. I have 3 priorities. There's my 3 priorities. I'm upgrading the pitching with youth. I'm building the best young starting pitching staff I can. I'm trading the Newt, and I'm what else did I say?
That's it.
That's it.
You only got 2 moves. I only got 1. And
well, there's 3 right there.
There you go.
2 + 1 = 3.
There we go.
Last time I checked.
Nailed it.
That's why you are the brains of this operation.
No doubt. No doubt.
Yeah. I don't know where that puts us, but
not in a good spot.
And NY says, I don't understand why this fan base hates Newt so much. I don't hate him.
Nobody hates him.
I think he's got durability issues. But if he's tantalizing to every MLB team because of his analytics, I'm trading to the highest bidder.
I think you run
4 pitching.
I think you're running yourself past that point though with Newt. I think one.
Why are you always doing this to me?
I'm telling you, man.
I tried to trade. NY says I'm not talking about you. Sorry, NY. Apologies.
Yeah, I think if you have another year where those numbers don't come to fruition, you're like, that's not who he is.
Yeah.
Like you can get to a point where you're like, yeah, he is that. Mm-hmm. He just hadn't had the opportunity. Then you get to that point like he's had plenty of opportunities.
Right.
He is not that.
Right.
We get a text from the 314. Wait, which question number are we on? 3. Which segment is it? Is Marsh
2.
getting ready to kill this early?
Yes, he is.
He's over it.
Question number 4.
Told you we'll at least get to 4. Because that's as many as apparently I want. Right?
Sorry.
From the 636, with all this action in football, do you miss a team in St. Louis to talk about even more? # Go Broncos.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
I would love to be able to go down to the games and,
Yeah.
I mean, we covered the Rams. It was see, this is what I was going to tell Bobby Bo earlier. We were critical of said Rams.
And we actually got paid by the Rams that final year.
I didn't. I was no longer part of it.
Did they boot you?
Oh, yeah. No call.
I'm
no
sorry.
text.
No call.
No email.
No call, no text, no show.
Just nothing. Yeah,
they Carey Davis you.
Yeah, no call, no show. They didn't tell me they wanted me back. And then I heard my boy Derek Stanley. I'm like, damn, what? Is it time to do the Rams post game already? Derek, when they calling me? Hey, brother, they made a executive decision. All right, well,
no.
Hey, man, go kill it, bro.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. That's right.
That's life, man.
Because I got moved to you and I were doing. It was me, you, and Michael Young. Were doing post. We were doing post for several years.
Yeah.
And the drafts. Mm-hmm. But not. I remember the one year they didn't invite us for the first round. They just stuck us with 2 through 7.
Hey, who the hell wants to do that?
The grind. Yeah.
Everybody knows those guys.
But yeah, you're right. Then I got it was Randy and I in the final. I think 2 years. I always thought, even if the Rams left, I'm like, oh well, we'll get a chance to talk about the entire league. Yeah, no. But then we do that now, and people are like, shut your mouth. Nobody likes the NFL. Like, what? I think a lot of people do. No. So I do miss. I miss it around draft time the most. Yeah, because we lose a lot of content now. Yeah. We've lost a lot of content without free agency and the draft and all that stuff. But
what would we talk about though with the Rams?
If they were here,
if we were here, people.
They got Cooper Kupp. I mean, if this Los Angeles, yes, they would.
They would not have the same team that they do now.
Why not?
The second they left, they decided to, hey, let's have a good football team. They wouldn't have the same team.
You think people in Jacksonville don't talk about the Jaguars?
That's what else is there to do in Jacksonville?
Oh, there's plenty.
Whoa.
You got
like what?
You could shop.
Duval.
How many? What other? Are there any other?
You could shop. You could.
Yeah, shop.
You could. You go to the grocery store
somewhere. Maybe not. Maybe not
They've
close.
Got gas stations in Jacksonville, like all kinds of stuff, man.
Oh yeah, did you see that? See that guy pumping gas the other day?
Yeah. Florida man.
I'm just saying.
Florida man pumps gas. He's pumping that gas real quick.
Okay, Marsh. We get your
speed on
point.
that gas pump. It's one of the fastest gas pumps in the area.
Yeah.
That's why it's backed up over there. Everybody's going. Yeah.
Will the record ever be broken? We'll talk about it next here in Jacksonville, Florida.
You proved your point, Marsh. You don't like the second six-pack. We're moving on. Is this season more about discovering offense compared to defense for the Cardinals? That's next on 101 ESPN. MLB breakout candidates at The Athletic. One of them was Ivan Herrera. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN 506. Your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, Anthony Stalter. Yeah, Ivan Herrera. I've always bought the bat. Is this Eno Saris? I think it's Eno Saris. Keith Law, excuse me. Keith Law is a tool. That was Janet. I've always bought the bat as Herrera has a great swing and makes a ton of contact, but in a small sample last season, he showed that he can make plenty of hard contact too. His hard hit rate and exit velocities would put him right around the MLB median for catchers had he played enough. He got just under half a season of playing time last year and was worth 1.7 BWAR. I think he'll double that this year, according to Law, assuming he gets twice the at-bats. Long pause. He did struggle to control the running game last year, and that could impact how much the Cardinals, which seem very sensitive about catcher defense in the post-Yadier Molina era, as well they should be, play him defensively.
Keith Law is a tool.
There it is. So are the Cardinals prioritizing, are they prioritizing discovering offense and kind of punting on defense when it comes to this catcher spot?
I mean, I don't know what the answer is, because we talked about the notion that Ivan Herrera wasn't good in the running game at all, and the fact that I kind of felt like he should have led off with that, because all that other stuff doesn't matter. And I don't know if it's as bad in other places, right? I don't know if other places value a catcher that can hit over one that can throw out a runner, but four runners caught stealing. That ain't enough, man. And I told you yesterday, 2 of them took off. The
throws?
The runners. And one throw took off.
I figured you talk about the runners, but I didn't know.
One throw took off. He had a throwing error. I think he lacks confidence right now. And the one thing about being, at this level, when somebody knows you're lacking confidence, it's like they
smell it.
It's a loud bullying, right? They're like, pick on him. He don't want to be back there, man.
Right.
And so it. And until you fix it, they're going to keep doing it. Until you can patch up this hole in your game, they're going to continue to do it, which leads you to a huge problem if you're the Cardinals, if he's behind the plate. If he's unable to throw runners. And then here's the tough part for me, because we have this notion that Paez is that much better. He wasn't that much. He was better.
No, I agree.
But he wasn't that much better either.
Carey, I was shocked that they moved Willson Contreras to first base. I didn't understand it.
Because of this situation that comes up when you move Wilson from behind the plate.
Do you remember having a conversation right when the report came out, Carey, that they were going to move Contreras to first base? My first response on these airwaves was, so they're going to sign a cheap defensive catcher then. That's what I thought. I figured, all right, they'll move on from Pedro Paez. They'll have Ivan Herrera there. They'll continue to try to develop him, but also have a defensive catcher, somebody that can control the run game and somebody that would be beneficial to this pitching staff. But instead, the Cardinals said, hold my beer. We're going to go with the 2 guys who can't throw runners out.
It's a little scary. It's concerning.
I get the bat. I get that the bat plays. But at what expense?
Well, you just learned. You just found out.
Gator threw it out there. Why didn't they move Herrera to first base and kept Contreras behind the plate? I agree.
Herrera is younger. And I think the natural progression for most catchers as they age is to get from behind the plate in that crouching position for 135, 140 games.
I get it.
Get the pressure off of their knees.
When you have
and put
another
them at
catcher.
First base. Well,
the Cardinals don't have any catchers now. Their best catcher is at first base.
Anthony, you're not wrong.
Eggplant emoji says, it's not hard to play first base. Tell him, Wash.
It's incredibly hard.
It's incredibly hard. I don't know. This is one of the experiments that has not made sense to me from day one. I understand the notion of moving an aging, banged-up catcher to first base. I understand that. But when you have an adequate replacement, you have half a player right now in 2 players.
You got a whole player.
You got a whole player. That's more fair. You've got a whole player in two guys. Herrera can hit, Pages can catch. But unfortunately, you can't insert Ivan Herrera into the lineup to bat for Pedro Pages. This isn't high school.
You can't do that, huh?
No. Can't do that. So, I don't know, Carey. You don't seem too concerned about it, though.
I was concerned yesterday, but it is what it is at this point. Fast lane it. Go with it. You know? If you're going to do something, Anthony, go all in. I was taught, you make mistakes in football, but my coaches would always say, if you make them going 100 miles per hour, it's okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Just make the mistake, but do it fast.
Yeah.
Get it over with. Be confident in your mistake. You feel like it's the right. Don't be out there studying and guessing and trying. Just go. All right. You can be wrong. We'll figure it out later. That's what the Cardinals are doing.
So what do you do with Herrera if he absolutely stinks at catcher and he hits really well? Like, do you just move him to DH?
Yeah, which takes up another spot.
Now Burley or Gorman are on the outside looking in.
This is a game you don't want to be playing. This is a game you don't want to play. The game is Ali has to decide who's going to be hot for a stretch. It doesn't work. It doesn't work with Ali. It doesn't work with most managers because they can't predict the future. I'm going to go with this guy because of the matchup, or I'm going to give this guy a run. They're going to sacrifice one of these bats because they haven't figured out the catcher spot. It's not good, guys.
And I think, Marshall, you've said it, and I guess you would have to really take a slice of humble pie if you were to say, you know what, it didn't work, we're going to move Contreras back to catcher. Like, you would have to, right? If it's that bad. If it's literally 3 to 4 stolen bases a game. Which is not out of the realm of possibility.
You can't have it.
No, Pages will just play. Yeah. And I don't know if I want Pedro Pages as my starting catcher for 130-plus games.
No.
But Pages wasn't that much better either.
Exactly.
But he does hit big home runs against the Cubs, so just saying. Play the matchup.
Yeah, well.
Keep them, but only for the Cubs series.
Yeah, at Wrigley.
At Wrigley. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We're going to bet the board. Rough night for the Fastlane. Did Jamie hit his? Hopefully not is right. I think Marsh turned his mic off. I'll say what he said. Hopefully not. Because I know that Carey did not hit his.
No.
Because his was actually for tonight.
Try it again.
Mine did not hit because of a 4-point play within 3 seconds. And Marsh didn't hit his either, so.
Jamie did not hit.
Yes!
He did not get a point, so.
0 for gopher last night.
It's a wash, gentlemen.
If you parlayed all of our picks last night, if you faded all of us and parlayed it, you did well.
Yeah. Proud of you.
But we did not do well. Bet the board is next on 101 ESPN. to Bet the Board here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh and Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. So we all lost last night in Bet the Board, which leaves us with the same point totals as yesterday. Marsh has 5 points. I have 4 points. Carey has 2 points, and Jamie has 2 points. So those are your updated standings thus far for the month of March, otherwise known as the Fast Lane month.
Yes.
Since all our birthdays are in March. All right, Marsh, what is your pick?
I'm going back to the Carey Davis model, which is points, rebounds, assists. I tried going with the Action Jackson Piddles Burkett model yesterday. Unfortunately, Central Connecticut State only scored 20 points in that first half, so not good enough. I think we're gonna be done with that for the month at least. Maybe we'll revisit it in April. But Carey Davis, points, rebounds, assist. Give me SGA, 45 plus points, rebounds, assist. I'm looking at what happened last game. I had the same philosophy with the Joker. I'm like, they're going to rebound. He's going to have a huge game. He did. I think SGA does the same thing, and I think they beat the Celtics as well. But that's not my parlay. I'm just going.
Like a drum.
Like a drum.
Yeah. I'm going to go with the same game.
Oh.
Give me the over 229.5 in the Thunder-Celtics matchup. In the last 10 meetings between these two teams, gentlemen, the over is 8-2. There was a 7 game over streak between these two teams before they met in early January, and that one fell under. But nonetheless, actually 7-3, 7-3 is the over in these last 10 meetings. Oklahoma City has also gone over in 7 of their last 10 games.
Got some good numbers there.
Thank you, sir.
They're due. Give me Devin Booker over 36.5 points, rebounds, and assists.
So you're not going with the Celtics?
No.
You liked them so much yesterday.
I did. The line was different yesterday, too.
Was it?
Mm-hmm. I think it was like 3.5 yesterday.
Okay, so it's only 2.5 now.
I know. I don't feel it. I'm not feeling it.
Okay.
No, they were what, minus 3.5 yesterday.
Now they're minus 2.5.
The Celtics.
Yeah.
Which is
where you play. I thought you picked the Celtics.
I did.
So you got a better line today.
Yeah.
But you're saying fast lane that.
Nah, I don't feel it.
Give me Devin Booker.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think the SGAs might win.
All right.
Not only cover, win the whole damn thing.
All right. Fair enough. You have to yell at us.
Is Jamie going with the Vancouver Canucks and Calgary Flames to go to overtime at plus 270?
He certainly is, Marsh. He certainly is.
I thought I saw that text.
What is he doing?
I don't know. Maybe he's trying to get it wrong, so one of them doesn't get an extra point? I don't know.
Wow. Okay, so they have to go to overtime tonight.
Yeah.
For Jamie to get a point.
Yeah, if he goes to overtime, he wins.
That's kind of a rough play, don't you think, for Jamie? But you know what?
Yeah,
he is the defending champ.
He knows better than us.
He knows way better than us. Way better.
Or maybe we shouldn't give him that pick. Maybe we should change his pick. But I mean, if he texted it in, though.
No, he texted it in.
Yeah.
Look, that's what he's going with. All right, it's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. That is Bet the Board.
That's rough.
The Eagles have signed running back A.J. Dillon, formerly the Packers, to a 1-year deal. I thought he was done.
I think he was hurt last year.
He had the neck injury.
See him.
Yeah, he had the neck injury last year.
They hyped that young man up so much, it was unfortunate.
The Eagles have completely they've made some big-time changes.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say big time. They've made some significant changes on both sides of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't one of them. I just thought the Eagles, looking at the Eagles situation. By the way, Jamie had brought up yesterday. It was yesterday or the day before, Joey Bosa, how good he'd look in a Lions uniform. Well, Joey Bosa signed with the Bills.
Mm-hmm.
And the Bills, of course, released Von Miller, although they're discussing possibly bringing him back on a different deal. Cleveland's Mary Kay Cabot, who's a longtime beat writer for the Browns, reports that Russell Wilson will meet with the Giants on Friday following his meeting with the Browns on Thursday. It's amazing.
Russie.
Russ still has a market. Ain't a good one, but he's got a market.
I think both of those two, Aaron Rodgers and Russell, those are the two teams that are looking at both of them. The Giants and the Steelers. One of them will end up one, and the other one will end up in the other, I'm sure. Well, I'm not sure, but that's what I think.
Marsh, who is struggling to
choking. You all right?
Drink his water.
Yeah, I'm just choking and, just thinking about maybe Aaron Rodgers being a Viking.
Yeah,
I think it'd be terrible.
Let me give you to that.
Yeah.
The Athletics' Diana Rossini reports the Vikings are, quote, still evaluating their options at quarterback, including the possibility of signing one, Aaron Rodgers. Rossini went on to say Rodgers is, quote, intrigued by the idea of playing in Minnesota, end quote. A report from earlier today noted that both the Steelers and Giants are still waiting to hear from Rodgers.
Is he really on the Brett Favre plan?
Boy, man, I guess so. How about that?
Is he really
Packers
going to go
to Jets to Vikings?
To the Vikings?
Wow. To an NFC championship game in which Rodgers throws the back-breaking interception to cost them a chance to go to the Super Bowl.
You're telling me the Vikings are going to go to the NFC championship game? I'll take that right now.
Yeah.
Take that right now.
If he signs there.
Okay, so there's two ways that this could go, right? We're playing hypotheticals here. One, Aaron Rodgers goes into what I would say a really good locker room, good culture, completely ruins it. And, yeah. Or Kevin O'Connell unlocks something with Aaron Rodgers and his old age.
Maybe.
And they have a good season. If he goes there. I'm just looking at it from two different perspectives. If he signs there, I'm going to choose to go with the latter because I have no choice.
That's true.
And I'll buy a jersey because I feel like I have to. And I'll wear it, and I'll wear it all the time in front of you.
Wow.
And then I'll buy you a Kirk Cousins Falcons jersey, and we can both wear them at the same time.
I don't want a backup player for the jersey.
He's gonna be.
I don't want Aaron Rodgers on my football team, Anthony, but things happen.
Right, like Kirk Cousins signed to mine, and you try to make me feel bad about me not liking it. I hope he does well, so you have to come on these airwaves and talk good about him. Well, what happened?
Anthony,
I was right.
Anthony fed his
really well.
child chicken tenders. How could you not like the guy?
Just stop right there. He fed his child
chicken tenders. What's wrong with you? You don't like
chicken tenders? Did you see
You're
that?
not American.
Did you see that Netflix documentary?
Taking care of his
where he
kids,
won
man.
a game and then he took his kid into the locker room when they had chicken fingers and he fed it like he's a good guy. He fed his child. That's what he's supposed to do. By the way, Yahoo's Charles Robinson reports the Falcons are retaining Kirk Cousins through Sunday, increasing his guarantees by $10 million in 2026.
Yeah, he'll be there.
Homeboy's going to sit the bench.
He's a Falcon for life.
He'll play.
You done messed up, Kirk.
You know what, Anthony? Because you don't like him, I hope he plays all year. He won't. Plays all year.
We have Michael Penix now. All right?
I hope he doesn't, because that means Penix is hurt.
Yeah, we don't want to see Penix hurt.
We don't want to.
No, we don't. But maybe, what if Kirk outplays him?
He won't.
Who? Did you say Kirk outplays Penix?
Yeah.
No, listen. Lefty.
Am I taking crazy pills
Michael,
here?
right?
Black. Yeah. Built for Atlanta.
Yep. Good things happen.
Single-digit number?
Single-digit number. At least good things happen for a little while. Yeah. Then,
NFC Championship game.
Yep. Then things happen.
Hopefully not in Philly again.
No, that was terrible. All right. We're off early tonight. So we'll come back. We'll tell you what we learned today. Give a little criticisms and compliments. And 3 stars next on 101 ESPN. Our guy Stewie is ready to take your call right now. 314-324-4440. That is his personal cell phone number. And Stewie hands out that personal cell phone number because he wants to help save you money. He also wants to provide that old school customer service feel. He tells Jamie and I that all the time, because he knows what it's like to sit on hold because you just want a simple question answered about a loan, a home loan maybe, or a refi situation, something that is incredibly important to you, your family, and your finances. And you can't get anybody on the phone. That doesn't happen with Stewie. You can call him or text him with a question. He'll answer day, night, and if he doesn't get your phone call right away, he'll call you back. He wants to help people in St. Louis. He's got the bagel loan program. He also has had the red bagel program. These are all different things to help save you money up front. So if you're looking to close, he can do so within 2 weeks a lot of the time, depending on your situation. And there's really no challenge that he hasn't met head on. He helped Jamie get the home of his dreams. He can do the same thing for you. Or again, if you want to refi or maybe you want to cut down on some of that debt, Stewie's got different programs for you. So call our guy Stewie, 314-324-4440, or you can always Google the bagel loan.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. We are off a little early today because we have the Patriot League Championship for you. We'll have the pregame starting around 5:45, and the tip-off will be at 6. If you missed anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page, and you'll find all of our full shows there. That's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. The Blues will be back in action tomorrow, taking on the Pittsburgh Penguins. Pregame starts at 5. Puck drop is at 6. We have what we learned and our 3 stars of the day coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
If you missed anything from today's show, you can always download the app, the 101 ESPN Dobbs and Tire Center, Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's mobile app. The podcast will be available there or at 101ESPN.com. And, of course, all podcasts are brought to you by Schaefer Door Company. Marsh, what'd you learn today?
I learned that I hate the sports six-pack.
You learned that today?
You tried to ruin it multiple times.
No, I guess I didn't learn that today. I guess I've been saying it for a while that I hate it, which I really don't, but I guess I do.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Sure.
And it probably doesn't.
Think you know a guy.
Yeah.
The text line knows you better than anybody.
Very true.
Clearly. Speaking of thinking that they know a guy.
Yeah.
I just learned today that the Rams paid you for that last season?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, that's what I did learn. I learned that we're all on the Blues,
payroll.
Wow.
Yeah, but we're not. But yeah, the Rams did the very last season. It was the only one. It was it was one season. Nope, it was each week, or maybe it was monthly. I can't remember now. Wasn't very much, but it was
enough to keep you in line.
One season.
So you could talk good about those Rams.
Yeah. I was pregame at that point. You always talked optimistically on pregame. Game hadn't started yet. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The possibilities were endless on pregame. I didn't even have to fake it. Postgame, no. Then you're...
Pregame is much easier.
Pregame was way easier.
Yeah, had to be.
Yep. So Carey learned that. Yeah. I learned that listeners like Bobby Bowe are actually not willing to pay us or me to simply talk about what they want. Because Bobby Bowe has been demanding that we talk the same way about the Blues as we do his Cardinals. And I gave him an option.
Yeah.
I say, you pay me, and I'll say whatever the hell you want. Within reason, of course. Mm-hmm. And then that was the last time we saw Bobby Bowe in the snake pit.
I haven't seen him. You're right.
So
you're not wrong.
What I learned was even the listeners have limits.
Man. That stinks.
That's
certainly does. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So no extra money for the Stalter kids.
Gosh darn it.
Go ahead, Marsh.
Well, maybe if Bobby Bowe would have paid you, you wouldn't have to use Neighbor Dave's garage anymore.
I probably still would.
Well, yeah.
Did he call you? Did you talk to him yesterday?
No, he hasn't said anything.
That means he's not listening.
That hurts.
Which is pretty concerning.
That hurts, man.
Yeah. Well, maybe he's busy. From the 314, once upon a time, about 10 years ago, your sports six-pack questions, I'm sorry. Let me restart this.
Take two.
Once upon a time, about 10 years ago, your six-pack questions was one segment, but now everybody wants to give a half-hour speech, which is awesome because I laughed at it a lot. But that's why it's going to come down to 4 tall boys or something else.
Sometimes it's just a shot.
Do you guys know, fun fact about this, do you guys know who created the sports six-pack? What producer?
Ooh.
What producer created the sports six-pack?
Mike Ryder?
No.
Can we get the options?
Yes. Was it Brad Barnes? Brad Barnes, Michelle Smallman, or me?
Well, I got to go with the outlier here. I got to go with Anthony Stalter.
I got to go with Michelle Smallman.
Marsh is correct. I invented the sports six-pack.
Well, now I feel like
years
an
ago.
a-hole. You
when
can
I
do
was a
whatever you
producer.
want with the six-pack.
True story.
I feel like a cocky fat A right now.
My man Dunk used to crush man sodas, so I figure, why don't we have a questionnaire going on? You do the six-pack sounder. Yeah. 13 years ago.
Very nice.
It's still kicking.
It is.
Mostly because we demand it of Marsh.
He has
I changed my tune now. I don't want to switch something that the creator made.
Now, in fairness, it was supposed to be one. It was designed to be one segment.
Yeah, well, still.
Things get better over time.
Yeah, it's your show. You can do whatever you
improve.
want.
You have to improve upon it.
That's fine.
You have to add upon it. Yeah. All right. Continue there, Marsh.
From the 618. I don't know who started. This is before you gave us the answer. I don't know who started it, but I know who wants to end it.
Very true.
Oh, jeez. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Not wrong.
Justin says, great show, guys. Killed it again.
Thank you, Justin. Appreciate you.
it.
From the 618, great show, but it astonishes me that you can't answer 6 questions in 2 segments.
We got a lot to say. And these are good questions.
Great questions.
Which provide multiple different avenues for conversation.
Yeah.
It's actually a full hat tip to you, the listener, that comes up with these questions.
Another great point here from the 314. Hey, when you only have 6, you have to make it last a bit. Why rush?
Exactly.
Very true.
Trying to get it to
Take
take
your
3
time.
segments.
Yeah.
He'd lose his damn mind.
3 segments.
He'd lose his mind.
We can make it a 12-pack.
He'd lose his mind.
We'll do 4 each segment.
We got to do it once a month. It's called Freedom Friday.
That's true. It's very true. Are you guys ready for the 3 stars of the day?
Yes.
Our third star of the day is going to go to Bobby Bowe's involvement. And I said this in the break earlier today. I thought that, up until that point, we were having a very structured, very, informative show. And then Bobby Bowe came in and ruined it all. But actually, he didn't ruin it. He made it better because the spite, the sarcasm, everything that really this show embodies came out. And it only took about 2 segments.
Very true.
Yeah. First segment.
Good job, Bobby Bowe.
Yeah. We appreciate you, Bobby Bowe.
But he's not here anymore to receive the star.
No,
so
he's gone.
We'll have to.
He will be missed.
Oh,
We'll have to call him or something. Second star of the day goes out to Anthony's Prove Me Wrong appeal.
Yeah. Did he win it?
No, I didn't.
No, you
win
didn't.
it.
But we're going to give you a star for it.
Oh, okay.
Did you try?
Great try.
Was that a great effort? Good effort. Good job.
Good job. Good effort. Good job, guys. Good effort.
And there were Rams that did get inducted into the Hall of Fame after the Rams left.
Yes.
But I
2,
believe after the lawsuit was settled in 2021, I don't think we've seen one since. So
It's coming.
Either way,
it's coming.
Torrey Holt will be the next.
Absolutely.
First.
First star of the day goes to Jacksonville's gas station.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. That's a good one.
Sure, they got some good fishing down there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Other stuff, too.
Sun.
Lot.
I saw that Snake Pit was looking up some of the attractions in Jacksonville. Apparently, they got a zoo. So
Yeah, but they charge money, apparently.
yeah, like 30 bones.
So
That's tough. But
is it really that appealing?
they may have gators.
We have gators here. We have one in the Snake Pit.
That's true. Yeah. So are we? Is there no reason to go to Jacksonville? Is that what we're saying?
I don't know.
Like if you're going to Florida, you're probably not going to Jayville.
Miami.
My parents live in Fort Myers. We'll be there this weekend.
Like Fort Myers. How are you leaving this weekend? You out of here?
We out.
Good for you.
Thank you.
Enjoy your time.
Yeah, kids' spring break.
Watch out for the walls.
Okay, it's been a while. It's been a while for that. Okay.
I just said watch out for the walls.
And I was drunk and I was playing a game.
What game was that?
It's Marco
It was
Polo.
basically Marco Polo with the kids. Okay.
Don't know that version.
Well, it's not a version anymore as I smash my face into the wall. For Andrew Marsh, for Carey Davis, I'm Anthony Stalter. See you.